Hey Alonga. I'm with my partner right now so I can't stay, but I hope you have a great stream. Smile, don't shove your tongue into any holes while I'm gone.
Welcome to LoganRobo's channel, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/LoganRobo and on youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Tonight's game is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you've ever wondered how you too can become an ace attorney, just wander into a courtroom. I don't know, maybe get accused of a crime or something. They'll hand out an attorney's badge to just about anybody these days. Let's be honest, you might already be an ace attorney and not even realize it yet. Thank you for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream. And we are live! How is everybody doing? First of all, Oak, thank you so much for re-upping the sub. 19 months. You're in just the early stages of your third subscription, baby. Enjoy your time together with your partner. Thank you so much for popping in. I don't know if maybe you'll be able to lurk or be here later, but thank you so much for the support and for being here, even if just for a little bit. Let me take a look at the chat. First of all, over on Twitch, Extemporaneous was here early with lurk and a random Transformers check. Sideways, parentheses, AVP. I actually don't know what AVP stands for. I want to say like Alien versus Predator, but I don't think that's a Transformers thing. So I'll just say Sideways, the one I'm familiar with, is from the Unicron trilogy, from like Armada. He was like an agent of Unicron, trying to play both sides of Autobots and Decepticons, a really evil guy. Also, would you rather have nap time or recess time every day? Nap time. Oh, absolutely nap time. Because in theory, if I'm like not tired, I could do something else. I could break the rules of nap time, but recess, it probably is a bit too active. What if I'm tired? But thank you so much, Lurk Extemporaneous. Vax says, Longna, how you doing, Vax? Bumbo says, hello, Longa. How are you doing, Bumbo? There's Oak re-up in the sub. Thank you again, Oak. Wendy says, hi. I just finished crying and having a big mental breakdown, so I'm probably gonna be lurking tonight. Tomorrow's game seems mad interesting, so I'll be there for sure. Well, thank you for the lurk, Wendy. I'm sorry that you were crying. We should do something nice for Wendy. Am I able to activate the on? Here's your reward. I don't know. What the ba?
So it's been 36 months. I'm a second year now in college and I'm working for a BC degree in computer science. I'm happy I'm here still even after all this time.
Weedle! 36 months. That is your 4th subscription, baby. Thank you, Weedle, for re-upping the sub. That launched a hype train on the Twitch side of the chat. It's now at 62% for level 1. Also, here's the honor reward for Wendy.
Here's your reward.
Just a little on Takamaki. Not like that we're trying to reward you for having a breakdown. I don't want to create a subconscious perverse incentive structure here to encourage breakdowns. But Wendy, I hope you get feeling better, and thank you for the lurk. And Weedle, thank you again for re-upping the sub. Holy cow, you've seriously been in the state and going to school for that long now? Wow. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. We have someone bright and early. The Rivulet from Rain World. Wait, crap, is that someone I know under a new name? I feel like YouTube chatters tend to change your names a lot more frequently. Someone here early, is that Katrina saying, yay, yippee, hooray, happy 2:30 a.m. from the UK. Oh, wait, are you someone we know? Was Katrina from the UK? Deba?
My beautiful, spectacular, glorious, amazing, beautiful, stunning, wonderful, talented, kind-hearted, gorgeous Queen A.N.N. Dakamaki.
I get the feeling that cheered you up at least a tiny bit, little bit. Thank you so much for the 10 bits, Wendy. I hope that us being in the background and making weird noises will help either cheer you up or at least take your mind off of your troubles for today. And thank you for the 10 bits. Derma says, Rivulet, it's 2:40 for me as well. Rivulet says, cool. And Derma says, Logan, the rules of nap time are sacred. How could you break them? Well, because I'm a night owl. Like, when it's regular sleep time, I stay up way too late as it is. You guys saw what happened on Tuesday, right? By the way, speaking of Tuesday stream, oh wait, no crap, except Oak is already gone, so I can't talk about Hollow Knight stuff. I'll do that next time. But yes, anyway, I should probably load up the game, and then I'll talk to y'all some more. Let's bring this up. Let's load. So where we left off, we met who I presume is going to... Sorry, I should have said whom. Whom I presume will be our new weird girl assistant. Crap, I don't remember her name. It was like Susato. I was gonna say Cerrito or something. That's too close to Sarita, Kenny's second wife in Walking Dead. Susato. So we just met her, and she burst in, and immediately everyone was super sexist in a really unbelievable way, because they're like, oh, in our society, we don't allow women to be legal assistants, which I feel like in real life, they would just say, no, get out of here. They wouldn't explain the sexist thing because it makes them look bad. So she is a strong, very tiny little girl boss living in a world that oppresses her very existence. But let me read a couple more quick comments here. Weedle says, hey, Logan. Oh, crap. I forgot. I can't. I got to click out of the game. I'm still messing up. What did she say right before that? Oh, wait, no, the wrong button. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only... Oh, no, sorry, we're not doing Maya. That's right. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to do Maya. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. Oh, I know, wait, no, she said something else after that. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Okay. Oh, you're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. Okay, now I can read a couple comments in the chat. Let's see. Wendy says, Tweedle, oh, brother, get a load of this guy. Bubba says, doing good. Queen Katie says, howdy. Falling says, I'm so ill today. Falling, here, have some water. Drink fluids, get rest. I'm sorry that you're sick. I hope you get feeling better. Quiggin said, I just suffered trying to tell Nora how to play Star Rail. She somehow didn't read any tutorials. That sounds right. I feel like, wasn't that what happened when Oak was trying to help Nora play Persona 4? Oak says, good night, everyone. Good night, Oak. Thank you for being here. I hope maybe you'll be able to pop in later. Bubba says, I could always use recess as nap time. Is that allowed? I feel like you'd get hit by a kickball or a hoppy tie or something. Oak says, Laga, did you see any new episodes of JJK? I did! You're probably already gone, but I watched the episode that was the fight, the rest of the fight, the conclusion of the fight between Megami Fushiguro and Reggie Star, and it was good. But I guess you have to wait for me to talk to you about it. Weedle says to Wendy, hoy, and Bubba says, you probably can. Okay, so yes, and I'm still caught up over on YouTube. Again, Rivulet, are you a new person, or are you someone that I know? Are you Katrina with a new name? I get so confused by name changes, but thank you for being here. Let's play some game. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. Okay, I'm gonna get 5 minutes on my clock. By the way, sorry, I got some, I know I said play the game, but I do have some news for you guys. Remember how I said that my phone wasn't working anymore with because it was too outdated. It was an iPhone 8, and they were stopping support, and half my apps were not working. It's like, you can't use this app till you update the app. You can't update the app till you update your iOS. Oh, can't update your iOS on an iPhone 8. So I finally bit the bullet. I got a new phone here, and it's taken some getting used to because it's so much different than my iPhone 8. But I'm gonna put a 5-minute stopwatch here. I'm gonna bring it up here and time us. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Oh, and she's behind our table now. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in, gulp, English? It's Giselle Brett's research. Huh? The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university and just stole her crap. Stole a bunch of crap. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and, borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid, I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Also, I don't know if she speaks English. Special characteristics of curare. Curare. Okay, I'm pausing my my stopwatch to look at what is curare. That sounds like a type of bean. Curare. Curare. Curare is a potent plant-derived neuromuscular blocking toxin traditionally used by South American indigenous peoples as an arrow poison fronting. Oh, because we were talking before about how we think that she poisoned the victim. I probably should have told you guys what happened last time, huh? But I didn't think to do that. So, so what happened was our victim is Dr. Wilson, who's clearly Watson from the Sherlock Holmes stories. And we, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, have been accused of the murder. But we figured out that it was, we figured out that it's Jezzael Brett, this English woman who was with him, that the government's trying to cover up because they're afraid it'll become like an international incident. If like a British lady kills a British man on Japanese soil, that's somehow Japan's fault. And the whole thing is that she stole the glass that she had at the table. And I think the court was assuming that, because she was trying to cover up her presence there to avoid suspicion. But I think it's because it wasn't her glass. It was Wilson's glass because it has poison residue on it. And that's really how she killed him. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard of that word before. Hey, if only Ryunosuke had Google. Time's up. Oh, well, that's been 2 minutes. Wow, okay. I actually could have used all the time wasting. That would have been great. I'm going to read a couple more comments in the chat, though. Let me take a look over at YouTube. Rivulet says, I'm new. Oh, you're new! Really? Because I just assumed that anyone who was here, like, early would have been someone I already knew. Well, Rivulet, I got to give you the rundown the channel then real quick. My name is Logan. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Right now, we just started this as our new main game, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're currently alternating with some other games, too. Like, on Tuesday, we played some Hollow Knight. Tomorrow, we're going to try a game called Nogia, which I understand is kind of like an Among Us style social deduction game, but it's like one player and with anime characters. I don't know. It sounds fun. Multiple community members have recommended it, so we're gonna give it a try. And I read every comment in chat. I'm usually behind. I'm much farther behind on Twitch usually than YouTube. But let me also post our link tree over on YouTube so you can check it out. This is this has all of our social media, including a Discord invite, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all of that good stuff. So feel free to check it out or ignore it. But Rivulet, am I saying that right? I've never played Rain World. Weedle over on Twitch has recommended it a number of times, but I don't know how to pronounce the names of things. So it's Rivulet or Rivulet? I'm gonna assume Rivulet. Maybe. But thank you for being here. Derma says, Rivulet, welcome. You a fan of TGAA? Oh yeah, I should ask, is that how you found us? And Derma says, I genuinely thought curare was a made-up poison along the lines of incuritis. Well, then it should be called like poisone or something like that. It needs to have a bad name. And Derma says, the incident wouldn't be that random. A Brit killed another Brit in Japan. It's that their diplomat is the murderer. I know, but it's again, it's like their people killing their own people. Frozy!
I missed unofficial national give Logan $5 day last stream, so here's $5.
Oh!
Happy late unofficial national give Logan $5 day.
Thank you.
Confetti ball emoji, epsilon greater than.
Epsilon greater than. Oh, instead of less than 3, it's epsilon greater than. Thank you so much, Frozy, for the $5 super chat over on YouTube. Yeah, I just jokingly had said that on Discord, and then last time Vero actually gave me $5. So thank you, Frozy! Thank you for the super chat. You're awesome. You're such a great support over there. I really, really appreciate it. Let me read a couple of quick Twitch comments, and we will get back in the game. I promise, especially for our new friend, Rivulet. I will, but thank you again, Frozy. Oh, and I think it looks like the hype train eventually ended at some point on Twitch, so thank you very much once again to our contributors to the hype train. Weedle says to Wendy, hoy. Bubba says you probably can. Oak says next week the dub will be ready for you. I know, next Thursday, but then that's the final episode of the season. Queen said, woo, 80 streams. 80 stream streak, wow. Queen Katie. Queen says 80 streams, and I get 450 points for that. Again, seems like it should be more. Weedle says, Rivet, Rain World, peak, huh?
Was Logan responsible and updated the schedule?
Vero! I forgot last time, but because I forgot last time, I did it this time. But how are you, Vero? I was just mentioning to Frozy how nice it was that you did participate and give Logan $5 day because Frozy just did that too. So thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, let me have a sip of water and we'll get back in the game. But thank you, Vero, for the 10 bits. Also, I'm glad that you were able to be there for at least the very tail end of our Hollow Knight stream last time, even though we went so far over time. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. Oh, I feel like I'm going to catch a bad case of menstruation just from being around her. There was too little time for me to read it in detail.
but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful, thank you! Jezzail's report has been entered into the court record. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University.
Goodbye then, and good luck. Do a good job.
Whoa, she was a ghost! She was a ghost! I mean, the regular Ace Attorney games have ghosts, but you never see the ghosts. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Okay, I need to check out this poison evidence that we have now. Yeah, so we gotta read her summary, which I'm assuming it's just gonna be mostly, it's a poison, you can put it on a glass and drink it, and it kills you. Oh, 3 pages of this. Synopsis: a poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. So wait, does it not kill you, it just incapacitates you? Special characteristics: effects, instant paralysis of the entire body, and subsequent death, even in minute doses. So that would explain why he he just like died quickly, fell over, hit the skillet, but couldn't react to it. Route of entry: the above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. So I was assuming that Wilson had ingested the poison through drinking the sparkling water in the glass, but through an open wound? Unless, well, no. I was gonna say it was after he fell down and burned his hand. Maybe, no, because he would have had to already be incapacitated at that point. And we decided he was probably already dead then. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Okay, so it can't be that. So probably at some point Jezzail Brett's gonna be like, oh, it's just an anesthetic. I'm like, nope, can't be. So let's keep going. Oh, she's staring us down. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... And so obviously we're gonna present the report that shows she was studying poison. The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Also, I just realized we never determined what her motive is for the murder. I guess we'll get that in an info dump either afterward or later in the game if it's part of an overarching thing. Yes, I know. Ha! Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence! Was it delivered by a female girl? Those are the worst kinds of girls. That look! The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... it's not so very long until tea time. I have to... say no? Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, no, women don't have rights back in nowadays. You gotta do what the man tells you to do. Okay, what is she interrupted saying? But I'm afraid... I must ask you to treat that as an order. You're lucky I like being told what to do. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? I don't know, the one that we just barely got. Let's present it.
Yes!
Yes! Miss Jezzail Brett. Wait, hang on. Pin message from Magpie, but I'm afraid, Logan, there was more that you didn't read. There was? Hang on. But I'm afraid... Oh, it's not very long till tea time. I'll have to politely decline. I forgot that. Okay, so that was that. Thank you for the pin message. I'm gonna read a couple more comments to chat. This I should tell our new friend, Rivulet. I hope I'm saying that right. If you came here after seeing any of our shorts, you probably haven't seen that I waste a lot of time yapping with chat. The games are just an excuse to hang out with all of you. Queen Gator said the only breakdown we need is from the culprit. Weedle says, I need to play more Rain World. Also, I've been working on my college life. Magpie says, call Magpie flying in. How you doing, Magpie? When he said it was my own fault because I saw a sad TikTok and instead of scrolling, I went through a super depressing rabbit hole on TikTok for like an hour. It was not good for the noggin. I'm sorry, Wendy. Was it at least like cathartic sadness, hopefully? Oak said, I'm still here briefly. Oh, so wait. So now are you probably gone? I was just gonna tell you, I've after, since last stream, I went back into Hollow Knight and I went back to Fog Canyon, found Cornifer. Apparently all I needed was the double jump. Found it, I'm happy. Bubba says, oh dear. Woody says, but I'm calm now and I bought myself powdered donuts. I knew I shouldn't have scrolled. And then Wendy says, yuck. Queen Gator says, no. Wendy says, the Maya voice, oh my gosh, throwback. Queen Gator says, good Logan, I forgot. Chat rejected that. We gotta find somebody else for that. Let me read a couple comments over on YouTube. Dermo says, Frozy, good to see you. Queen said, Dermo saying, lol, I was thinking curare was fake, but then Logan Googled it. Dermo says, I'd be an incident in Britain, Logan, not Japan. Japan is covering on their behalf. I know, it just still seems weird to me that it would be an international incident of one English person killing another English person in a different country. Because, like, it's not Japan's fault. It's just weird to me. I get it, though. Rivulet said, pronounced Rivulet. Okay, Rivulet. Also, Rain World is, in fact, peak. That's what Weedle has said. It looks fun. I've just never actually played it, though. I like the style of it. So, Rivulet. So, thank you for the correction. Derma said, Rivulet. I've heard that a lot. Unfortunately, I fear bugs. Rip. Oh, is that why you haven't been able to come to our Hollow Knight streams, Dermo? Too many bugs? Too many bugs? You think if you were committing a murder, you'd use anything other than what you're studying and are known to be studying. Bit of a paper trail. Yeah, I mean, it's a tutorial case, but still,
Sorry, Longa, but back then Britain was on their high horse.
See, this is why you should not allow countries, nations, to have tall horses, huh?
It's nearly tea time when I'm invited to the function, but the British national tea alarm is about to go off, so I politely gotta decline.
Oh, and it is an alarm. Dermo, you can correct me since you are right there near England, by the UK. They have an alarm. There's, when's tea time? You got to. And they have like the tea police run around shooting people for not having tea at tea time. Rivulet says, fully aware of the yapping, I came for the VODs. Okay, good, that is a relief. I always worry that people will be disappointed their first time here because I waste so much time. But thank you for being here, Rivulet. Okay, and yeah, let's play a little bit more. I've read a bit of both chats. I'm caught up on YouTube still, but already getting further and further behind on Twitch. Miss Jezeel Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into deadly poison. What? Poison? That's the thing that poisons people. Where are you going with this, Council? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. I probably should have looked at the pronunciation, but I'm sticking with curare. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. Why, without Google, I would assume it was something made up for a game. You wouldn't have done.
What, wouldn't have done? What? You wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have done.
What do you mean? Well, you wouldn't have done. Why is the word done in there? I didn't use the verb to do. I said I haven't heard of it. You wouldn't have heard. Now you wouldn't have done. Look, I'm not good at English. I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare for one very simple reason.
It doesn't exist in our country.
It doesn't exist.
Correct. Which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Ha! Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub. Wait, so does it exist or not? Well, hang on. He's banging his hammer. Order! 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 Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? It's Kazuma.
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers.
That's not in the summary. How do you know this, Kazuma?
It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Let her speak! Stop white knighting her, bro.
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some sort of so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noted.
Okay, we'll say the note says paralytic. I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Bumbo says, 20, I hope you can make a favored meal for yourself today. Whitty said, thank you, Bumbo. I brought me some little treats and snackies. Whittle said, guys, I accidentally sold drugs to a random guy on Easter? Please, I'm going to assume legal drugs, and that you're not confessing to a crime in the chat, Weedle. Da-ba-ba-ba.
Seeing Kazuma reminds me of when my friend played the game for the first time and we were doing voices and me doing Kazuma voice. I had to do the 2 fingers by the noggins pose a lot to get his voice right, that it carried over to doing the pose in real life for a few weeks.
Oh, like just even when you're out doing stuff and you stop and do that? I sometimes had that if I've spent a lot of time around a friend that will use a phrase frequently. Like, here's an example. There was a friend of mine who would always greet people by saying like, howdy, 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 or something like that. And I found myself starting to do it. It rubs off on you. So thank you for the 10 bits, Vero. Thank you. I gotta post some more stuff in the Transformers chat on Discord after this, by the way. Right before the stream, there was some leaks that I found online. But thank you for the 10 bits. Let's see, Magpie says, how do you do that by accident? Queen said 1 more week before Tomodachi Life on Switch. Oh, I forgot, I gotta click out of that. Turns out I was able to connect my Switch to my living room TV, so I tried the demo and fell in love with it. It looks like fun. Who was it here that said you were gonna try and make me in Tomodachi Life? Bubba said 1 more week. Queen said, so I pre-planned 20 Miis already for it. Bubba said, careful, that's over a 1/4 of the Miis. When he says, oh my gosh, iPhone 8. I remember in college I literally had an iPhone 5S while they were like on iPhone 11 or something. Yeah, I went in there to look at the new phones, and it was quite the difference. So yeah, I just bought like the cheap. They have this new like E version of stuff. It's like their economical model, so it doesn't even have like the fancy multi-lensed camera on. I just need a basic phone. I'm just so nervous though, because like I ordered a new case for it, but it won't arrive until a day after tomorrow. So I'm just like clutching this, feverishly worried I'm gonna drop it or something. Over on YouTube chat, Derma says, I don't know about the tea, but the alarms blaring and shooting people is unfortunately accurate if my parents are to be believed. Well, Dermo, I know I've told chat before. Were you here when I told chat about my great-grandfather, who is apparently in the IRA? Now, the family all insists that he was in the IRA, quote, before they became the bad guys. I honestly don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to look it up myself. So I just don't want you to think that I'm like a terrorist sympathizer with like car bombs and things like that. But I've heard some stories that would curl your chest hair a little bit of their dealings with things. But obviously I won't get into the detailed stuff because like that, I guess that'd be considered politics. But it's just some trivia about my ancestry, I suppose. Derma said, but if they can't currently test for it, you might as well say a phantom killed him. It's just not provable. I know, you know what? Let's make a decision now. If we're ever playing an Ace Attorney games and we're like, a phantom did it, we should just let the phantom go. Because maybe the phantom is delightful and whimsical and fun to be around. And Dura says, I get that with accents, end up unknowingly reflecting their accent. I also knew a guy like that who was from Jessup, Georgia, had a really thick southern drawl. And after a while, it started rubbing off on like 3 or 4 other people in our group. Let me have a sip of water, we'll get back into this. All right. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? What was said right before that I missed? Oh yeah. There's saying if he'd been administered poison, it would have writhed and squirmed.
Oh, Logan. Good news. My giant package is finally shipped to me now that things are getting stable. All I'm gonna say, shipping fees are getting ridiculous because why do I have to pay fuel fees now? But yeah, look forward to me unboxing in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that's a long time, but at least it's finally happening. Please keep me updated, please, please, please. Yeah, fuel fees, like for the transport, wow. But thank you for the 10 bits on that, Vero, and I'm excited. I hope it hasn't been hyped up too much. Like, the stuff I put in isn't that great, but it's just a couple of things I'm excited for you to have. But thank you for the 10 bits. Oh, that's good news. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that.
Huh. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? Yeah.
Weedle, thank you for the Tomcat. Do I need to check the chat? Is there a bot in the chat? I was just in the chat, but thank you for the Tomcat, Weedle. I'm gonna read a couple. I'm gonna play a little bit more. I gotta trick our new friend Rivulet, even though Rivulet's seen the VODs, into thinking that we actually play the game.
What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used.
Explain yourself, counsel!
The moment...
And I'm just like, what is this that he's talking about?
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all his strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects would go largely unnoticed.
But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration? That's what I do in my hair.
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
Oh my gosh. I like the Sherlock Holmes character of Watson. I love him in the BBC series Sherlock. He's wonderful. I don't want him to die like this.
That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living heck. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison.
I don't even want to hubbub at that. That is messed up. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison. Oh, it's in the glass in her purse.
Objection!
Which she's probably already disposed of by now.
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts. I barely read anything out of my speech bubble.
What was he saying there?
You think you're so clever, but you must be taught some manners.
Okay, there's the shut up.
It is you who must be taught. Oh, of course. Oh, teach me, British mommy. Ooh, dear lady!
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? Did she just do a racism? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean? capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? I would agree. I need a sip of water and to read a couple more comments in the chat. All right, let's see where did I leave off. Bobo says, I have a few me's planned. I'm sure I'm gonna like, okay, I think I told you guys, I got the demo from, was it Metopia? And I very quickly filled up all of the me slots. I freaking love character creation stuff. When he says, I know, but that's why I'm pre-planning hard. When he says, only reason I got a new phone was because my old carrier was Virgin Mobile and they stopped offering service, so I had to switch to Verizon and get an upgrade. Same with me. I had my iPhone 8 for like 10 years or something. And I was happy with it. I'd keep it as long as I would continue to use it indefinitely. But again, Apple just discontinued support for it. They're like, we're not going to give it any, it's not going to be able to update iOS, and you can't use your apps unless you update your iOS. And so it just like more and more were like every week I was finding new apps that I could no longer use. Weedle says, okay, well, I was smoking outside near a corner store and a guy was asking for, I won't say what that is, just because, again, for the sake of not having people confess to crimes in the chat. In fact, I think I will not read any more of that, because we should not be confessing to crimes in the chat. Let's see what he says. It was for the better, though, because it no longer says virgin in the top corner of my phone. Magpie says curare. Okay, so it's curare, not curare. Thank you very much, Magpie. Bubba says, sorry, Weedle, 30 years in the slammer. Quita said, also, we might finally be seeing our first spoiler clip from me of the playthrough tonight. That's right, because we already saw one from Bumbo last time, right? Says it is literally Chick's calendar a year and 2 weeks old exactly as of today. What? So that's got to be from either Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice. Widow says, dang, I was going to give them for free too. Queekita says, Nausea mentioned. Spoiler chat has already started theorizing how you'll do with Nausea. Hee hee. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Rivulet says, oh my gosh, I need to sleep so bad, but also I don't feel like it. Well, Rivulet, I always want to say to people, I would love to have you stay, but you got to make sure you are taking care of yourself. I don't want people to resent the channel because it makes them make bad decisions. If you're able to stay up, I'd love for you to stay up and hang out. But if you need to make good decisions, do what you gotta do, but I'm enjoying having you here. Durma says, yeah, half my old family were, I'm from the rebel state. The car bomb stuff was the RIRA, a small splinter group. That's almost certainly not what they were referring to, don't worry. Okay, I didn't know that there was a different thing. Say I should clarify, old is in the previous generation. I didn't change family. No, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Let's see, and a couple more comments over on YouTube. Weedle says, rivulet is said as rivet. By the way, Longan, also you're stinky not eating enough Fun Dip Man. When I went on Monday to the store to look at day-old Easter candy, which by the way kind of sucked. I couldn't find just a big bag of Reese's peanut butter eggs. They only had like in regular chocolate and then the white chocolate ones. So I found out that my mom likes white chocolate, so we got a bag and we're splitting them. But I did see a big old thing of Fun Dip, which is odd for the store I go to because they don't normally carry Fun Dip. And it reminded me of you, Weedle. And there's where Vero came in saying, hello, friends. When he says Vero, Quita says, we're good, Vero. Vera says, good job. And then Wendy with the dancing lane. And Weedle says, one thing is that me and my roommates are hungry, so we have no milk, no bread. Big sad. We're starving for real, for real. My bread here is going to expire in 2 days, and there's still like half a loaf. So Weedle, if you want to come get some bread, but I'm actually low on milk, so no milk, but you can have some bread and water. Never let it be said that I was stingy with bread and water. Okay, let's keep going here.
Objection!
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules! Ha, 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 ha.
What's so funny?
Excuse me.
Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Oh, she's gonna drink from it to show there's no poison in it, right? Oh, well, yes, I don't see, why not? I'll do anything a hot girl asks me to do. Yeah, she's gonna drink from it. With a presumably clean glass. Blip, 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 blip. It's completely gone flat. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Did she do another racism? Sorry. Gomennasai. To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Ah, she actually said it. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? Burp. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Is she gonna die?
Is she gonna die?
I need to buy milk on the way home. Hubbub, 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 hubba, hubbub. Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course... Oh, did we almost see your eyes? That's the simple truth. Oh, if I go back in the VOD and I slow it down, would I be able to see her eyes? I want to see her eyeballs. I want them to be buggy and weird. I'm going to read a couple more comments to the chat. Queegita said, I never finished the Hollow Knight VOD, by the way. I'm doing that tomorrow after I watch the Nausea anime finale. Well, you're going to get 57 good rules for life in it. That was delightful. Zod is becoming my favorite character over there. Vex says, quote, I feel like I'm going to catch a bad case of menstruation just from being around her. Bubba says, Logan, the watch. Wait, what about my watch? It's got a calculator on it, but I'm also really sad because like last week it got a scratch that went like straight across the screen. And it makes me sad. Vero adds the quote, I feel like I'm gonna catch a bad case of menstruation from her. Queen says, this feels like a bad omen considering it's nearly that time for me, thank you. Vera says, dang it, I should have used this one. I knew I heard it wrong. It says, there we go, thank you, Vex. Quiggity with some quotes says, great quotes, guys. Magpie says, quote, but I'm afraid, ... Logan, there was still more you didn't read. Okay, that was the pin message earlier. Thank you again for that. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see. Reveal it with a message retracted and said, if anything, I will sleep during the stream, though. Well, I thank you. I assume that means like the stream will be on in the background for like showing support. That's nice. That's a very nice thing. It's very sweet, and I appreciate that. Reveal it says, girl, you live on an island. Oh, that's true. It's true, she does. Why are we island boys and she should be an island girl? Right? Durba says, reveal it. I think that's intentional. Half the things she says apply just as much, if not more, to Britain. It's irony. Well, I didn't catch it, so I like that, though. And reveal it says, yeah, I know. It's just funny. Not gonna lie. Well, I appreciate you pointed out, because that one right over my head. All right, let's play a little bit more here. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. Sorry, I was staring at your eyes down there. I should like to be excused now, please. Why? Did you fart? I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Okay, so obviously we're gonna have to present something else. I think we're gonna present, do we have a photo of the, oh, we do have a photo of the glass right here. So we'll present this. We'll show that that is where the poison was. It wasn't in the bottle, it was on the glass. Also, we're like 45 minutes in the stream and I haven't saved yet. I should just make sure to save periodically. Save. Oh! This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? That's nothing. Phoenix Wright one time swallowed a whole glass necklace. And he somehow lived to tell the tale unless some heretofore unknown Fey woman was channeling him the rest of the series.
I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose, if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. I have hit points on the screen. Something's gonna happen here. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. It's in the glass. Ha! As I thought. Wait, I said no. I said contains no poison. Oh, well, it says there is no poison. Sorry, is was capitalized. I missed that. There is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now.
Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. My naivete has been cheated on many times by adulterous women. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world.
Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent?
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel.
Why? For which would be peddling. No, there was no poison in the bottle. It was in the glass. Why? I did it smart.
I went back in the VOD to check for her eyes.
Oh!
Check general for results.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I'll do that on my new phone. So thank you very much, Vero, for checking that out. Let's see if I hope we can see her eyes. I hope they're either tiny and beady or really buggy or something like that. Whoa! Okay, we gotta show everybody this. I'm gonna try and zoom in on it so you can really see it. So this is the what her face looks like. No eyes. No eyes. At all. Thank you very much, Vero, for the 10 bits. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna scum my save. I'm gonna reload. But there was no poison in the bottle. It was in the glass. I'm glad I saved. Although I wish I'd saved like right before. Then we have to hammer my button through some stuff. So yeah, get through this. I'll read a couple comments in the chat while I'm doing this. Let's see, Magpie says, quote, but I'm afraid it's nearly tea time, I believe is the rest of what she had to say. Vera said, wasn't it? I must politely decline. Yeah, Magpie says, had to guess from what I remembered. Lol. Woody says, I can hear Big Ben all the way from here. Queen says, Big Ben rings and suddenly tables comes up from the ground and everyone has tea right then and there. Okay, I'm gonna also save right here before I click this. Okay, so this is nicer than Investigations 2. It is actually letting me save right before clicking something. So are we gonna say either that she's, okay, are we gonna say that she's immune to the poison? That she's developed a natural immunity? Is it gonna be kind of like the lidocaine powder in Princess Bride? And that if somebody else were to have drunk it, then they would have died? Ha! Or unless, like, her glass, she didn't put poison in her glass, but she put an antidote? Like a counter toxin? I don't know the right term, in her glass. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
Okay, but that time he didn't say the bottle.
Fool, are you blind? There was no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be! Okay, I'm gonna save again, in case it asks me, because if it is the glass and the glass had poison, then that's gonna be such bull crap that the game punished me for acknowledging the poison was not in the bottle.
Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence.
What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? I'm gonna do the glass. I'll scum my save again if I needs to. Glass.
Yes!
He seems to defend, or should I say, what? The wretched accused. Well, crap, that's wrong. It's the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think harder than that, defend. Okay, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I did so good the last 3 streams of this game, and now I'm just failing at everything. Okay, so the actual question is, we have to show what explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed. So see what we have. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. was caused by blood loss from gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. We've already learned that that is pretty inaccurate. We think it was poisoning, not a gunshot. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Okay, we still don't know what that is. That's got to have been like a stabbing after the fact or something. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front of the chest and subsequently died. Okay. I'm gonna guess a sketch of the restaurant's layout on the back of the front stay that Hisanoga-san as a police inspector. A bottle of carbonated water and steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Unless it's like, I was gonna say that you could have poisoned the steak, but he didn't eat any of the steak because of his dental problems. Oh. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Medical report card, a record of dental work on the day of the murder. The victim had undergone dental treatment to be prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. Photograph taken by Hisanoga-san after the incident shows Miss Brett's handbag. Okay, we already know it's not that. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder, it was on the victim's table. Have we examined this to see if there's anything else we can click on? I think we like looked at the label, right? The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Oh yeah, because it was just French. Yeah, we already talked about that. Was there anything else? Like on the bottom of the bottle? Maybe the opening? Inside the, oh. Quit looking, okay, it's inside the bottle. We were looking at the liquid level. So, this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a little sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Huh? Okay, so maybe there's something else in the notes that I forgot before when I was talking about other things. Okay, poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungle of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects, instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry, the above-mentioned effect occurs when poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. So maybe that's what's gonna be, that they didn't drink it. The drinking is fine, it has to be through a dart. Due to the ability to render, so okay, so that's what we're gonna say. It's gonna be this. It's gonna show that it's not through drinking it, it's through stabbing it. So present.
Yes!
Ha! The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. Woo-hoo. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle? Was it special characteristics? Was that the part? Let's take a look at it again. Special characteristics, I think that was the page, yeah? Special characteristics, yes! Special characteristics! We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something, huh? No. I'll get you guys one of these times. Oh, council! Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. All right, we're taking a roundabout way to get there, but I'm gonna read a couple more comments in the chat. Let's see. What he says, it's like vegan police from Scott Pilgrim, but just for tea. I'm trying to remember, didn't the vegan police, they use like finger guns and everything with like laser sights? I love that movie. Magpie says, no, they don't shoot people. That's America. And coffee break. The English police use batons. Oh, that's right. It's a bobby, a PT plod with a stick thing. Good point, Magpie. What he says, it's 3:01 and I see no cup of tea. Veer says, when your 10% Britain activates like a sleeper agent. Whittle says, and dump tea into the sea. Oh, that's what the us Yankees do, though. Oh, I should click out of this to read this. Oh, I was saying, yeah. Queen said, if I had a nickel for every Ace Attorney case with a killer lady who the entire court falls in love with and happen to have poison be involved in the case, and the protagonist is the defendant, what's next? Ryunosuke takes poison to prove its innocence. He's gonna eat a glass necklace himself. He tried to drink the bottle. Vera says, laughing. Magpie says, next Ryunosuke will eat the glass bottle, the whole Perrier. Vera says, ooh. Vex says, quote, howdy is also a great way to answer a phone call, in case you think it's a scam caller. I do like using howdy as a greeting. Usually when I answer the phone these days, if it's somebody I know, I'll usually just go, yo. I like that. Maybe we should say moshi moshi. What was it that Alexander Graham Bell wanted to be the universal introduction for answering the phone? Wasn't it like ahoy ahoy or something like that? Vera says, I picked up saying yellow when I VC with friends. Quita said, if you've ever been to my streams, my howdy is the loudest howdy and would make the scam caller hang up instantly, I'm sure. Bubba says, I have played a lot, so I'm making the conscious decision to restrain myself from playing it again. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see. Queen Katie says, I have the guide just in case, so do yell if you need anything. Thank you, Queen Katie. I eventually figured it out. I got just briefly stalled, which is kind of embarrassing because this is the tutorial case, but we're moving forward. But thank you very much for having my back. Derma says, in Morgan Freeman's voice, he in fact did not do a smart. I can't do a Morgan Freeman impression. But yeah, says, no, they do have guns, just not civilians. Oh, I didn't know that the police have guns. Good to know. Good to know. All right, let's get back in the game. Good gracious, Council! Now that would be madness! Oh, about eating poison, yeah. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound? You say, oh yeah, I see, oh yeah, that makes sense. I know what a wound is. I don't know what a wound is. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written. Like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. Because this is not a wound. What? It's not? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little kids and your dog too. Oh, it's alive! What's alive? Rapscallion! Her hat is alive. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out ladies' hats do be alive. You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? Could I be the great Ace Attorney? Chronicles? The first game? A lawyer?
Objection!
Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. Also, her mask got very big and pointy. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What you trying to say? Oh, now it's normal again. Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? I'd be more concerned with fatal flaw. Flaw? Ah, Kazuma gets it. As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its side effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Succus? I gotta Google so many words here. I assume that just means like your intestinal tract. Okay, here we go. Succus is a Latin term for juice or fluid secretion, commonly used in medicine and biology to describe plant extracts or digestive juices. All right, we just learned something new. Again, I'm gonna have a little bit of this succus, this hydrogen and oxygen juices. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I know I'm behind in chat, but I should pay attention to the game a little bit. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yeah, well, I'm good at succus. Aren't I, Kazuma? Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Oh. Huh? That's right. Good gracious. There's a hole in his chest. He has a wound in his chest. It just wasn't from a gun. It was from a poker stick thing. What's going on?
22 Logan rate panic.
Oh, it's just 22. Oh, 22 months. Crystal! Logan rate panic. Thank you so much for re-upping the sub, Crystal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are still 5 months away from your next subscription, baby. Not even quite to that halfway mark. Crystal, how are you doing? Thank you for re-upping the sub. I'm glad that people are re-upping subs. I felt like it's been getting a little bit lonely with just Queen Katie and myself in the Hey Hey channel lately. Thank you. How are you doing, Crystal? Okay, I will read some chat. See, Vera said I will. I'm here to catch rogue bots. Weedle says, oh, me and my group of friend California when we all graduate like in a year, but it costs so much money. Here's the thing, yeah, I love California as like the the biome, shall we say, but it's expensive there. Quick said, oh, by the way, Vero, when you get a chance, I'm thinking of putting you in my Tomodachi Life Island as the puzzle mascot I once drew, but I need to know what personality to give you, huh? Nora, rated with a party of one! Would Crystal or Vero be so kind as to do a quick shout out for Nora? And then we can watch a clip. What were you playing tonight, Nora? Oh yeah, Honkai Star Rail. Quick mention that.
I was very concerned he was going to talk about something.
Me too.
Persona 4.
Well, I didn't think of that, but I thought it was gonna be like some romantic gift or something.
I gave this to Lisa. It's syphilis. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He should not have given that to Risei. Welcome, Nora. How was your stream? How was Honkai Star Rail? Did you eventually go back and watch the tutorials that Queen Katie said you skipped over? But thank you very much for the raid, for being here. I was just reading a little bit of chat. I'll read a couple more comments here. Vera says, call me Cemetery Wind, for I will catch them all. Oh my gosh, the Vero night is real. I gotta look into the Tomodachi Life personalities. Give me 1 second. Queen says, I sent you the chart in Discord. Vera says, okay. Weedle says, yeah. Vex says, let me get a little sippy. Bubba says, no. Vex says, I'm pretty sure Brett's 3D model doesn't even have eyeballs. Yeah, that was the thing. It would have been nice if they snuck him in. It's like, I know if Wendy is still here, she'd remember the old Cartoon Network cartoon show, Ed, Ed, and Eddie, there were the three Kanker sisters, and one of them always had hair over her eyes. And every now and then it'd go up a little bit and you could see eyes, and one time went like way up, and they just decided to be goofy and gave her like a third eyeball in the middle of her head. So you never know what's hidden. Queen Gitta said, oh yeah, it turns out I have GAA on my Switch, so I explored the concept art gallery with the creator notes, and turns out Brett's mask is designed like that to match the mask on her swan hat? Okay, the next time we see her swan head, I gotta take a look. Did the swan on her hat have a mask? Bubba said, didn't Ligon set a stopwatch earlier? I did, but then it ended when they said time was up. It didn't even go the full 5 minutes. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Dermo says, I take issues with the report. If it were only effective intravenous, it should have mentioned that explicitly as opposed to be implied. I'm going to assume that it was just a translation. Something was lost in the translation, going from English to Japanese. Susato, she's trying her best. But I get what you're saying, Termo. Said especially when there are other explanations. Example, it decomposes when heated, so it's safe when the meat is cooked. Oh yeah, there you go. That would work. And the Derma said also, betting on having no wounds in your mouth is a bold move. Even a sore could be fatal. And Derma with a clip. Okay, for those who are new or lurking or don't know the deal, if someone posts a clip into either chat, we load it up on our clip viewer so we can watch it together. So let's see what this clip is. This is from the YouTube side of the chat, so it'll probably be a bit more recent. This clip is titled, Priorities, Ryu. All right, let's see what this is.
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Oh, is this bit? Schoolboyish? I'd be more concerned with fatal flaw. Flaw? Kazuma gets it. I'm
Your
Team Kazuma
schoolboyish
now.
logic has a fatal flaw.
I'm Team Kazuma. Thank you very much for the clip. I appreciate that. And John Alonzi is back! Saying I love this theme. How you doing, John Alonzi?
Logan, I need you to Google what a swan's face looks like. Indulge me.
Okay. Swan's face. Oh yeah, okay, I never thought of that as a full-on mask. It's like the black thing from the back of the bill that goes up to the eye. I never thought of it as like encompassing around. Okay, but that makes sense. All right, I never really thought of that as a mask before. But here, let me, I can show you guys what this looks like. Give me just 1 second here. So that you as well can see what we're talking about here. That type of thing. See, it like goes up to the eye. But yeah, so it could go around the eye as like a mask. So thank you very much, Vero, for the clarification on that. And for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. Let's play a bit more of the game.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
What's their obsession with schoolboys? It's kind of creepy. Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
Oh, that's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh, now we can see the swan's face, and it does have it full on as a mask. I like it. I still don't know how it's alive. Maybe it's just very well behaved and well trained. And wait, why do swans have 3 tails like that though? Oh! Superpowers activating. What is this welling up inside of me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. More than anything else, it's animalistic desire to take down my prey. Hey!
Objection.
Now I'm confident! Objection! Oh, her mask got big. I don't think so! Miss Giselle Brett! We just evolved into a lawyer. I'm gonna read a couple more quick comments, because I'm still behind. Vex says, told ya, Queen said, I the guy, just holler, whatever. Magpie says, Iocane powder. Lidocaine is a real thing. Iocane is from Princess Bride. That's what I was saying, from Princess Bride. And Vera said, this one was creative. If he does it without potato, he will be dubbed Smart Gun. I made 2 mistakes, but I eventually got there. And Dermer over on YouTube said, it's not a swan mask. Swans just naturally have black around their eyes. Again, I didn't know it went around. But yeah, we got it. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why. Even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison, you are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you.
The least looking 3DS game that's bright and hilarious knowing it's a 3DS game.
I'm just glad that we're not doing the gratuitous 3D. Which was it Spirited Justice that kept doing the thing where it's like pointing directly at the camera type of stuff like that? But thank you very much, Vero, for the 10 bits. Thank you. Oh, is that we're saying that the mask, when it got big, it's not that it got big, it's that she's doing the gratuitous 3D with the mask? Oh, I was impressed with the game until I realized what you were saying. So it's like the mask, oh, mask. As long as nobody in this game gets any yo-yos, they end up like spinning toward the screen at some point. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. You must provide compelling evidence! As we know now that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Okay, we gotta save. I gotta save before I do this. Save. Scum, save. Okay, I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be the wound, right? In the chest and subsequently died. I think. Or is it gonna be that this says that he was shot in the chest? Because yeah, we're assuming that he was already dead before the gunshot went off. We still haven't figured out what the gunshot sound was, though. Unless that did kill him. The bullet, well, why would you lace a bullet with poison if the bullet's already gonna kill the person? Maybe it's because she needed the death to be instantaneous for some reason. Okay, let's just try this. Present!
Take that!
Take that! Oh, no. I'm sorry, Counsel, but the slipshod manner in which you've tossed that evidence before this court does not inspire confidence. Hi! Listen, Ryunosuke, there's no need to overthink this. We know that curare's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters the body via a wound. Right, so that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. That's why I showed the picture of a wound! Exactly. So we need some evidence that would prove the professor had a wound inside his mouth? Okay, thank you for the clarification. Ah, of course. So it's the dental records. The dental records. That I guess makes sense as well. I'd assume she just like stabbed. Just poked him with a stick that had it. Okay, so the poison was in the bottle. He did ingest it. They both ingested, but it was harmless, but he had the dental records. Okay, where are they? Medical report card, dental treatment.
Take that!
Take that! As Miss Brett,
Logan, I think you forgot about the bull insignia.
I didn't, because I said that earlier, but because I was trying to theorize, like, maybe that was how it got through, but the problem was is that we've decided that was after he had died, or at least was paralyzed with poison, like, fell down, and that's why, because we determined that it had to be, like, on that skillet for, like, it was at least a good 3 seconds. And so it's because he was already dead, or at least paralyzed in this case. So it couldn't have gone in that way, it had to have already been in his system, right? But thank you very much for the 10 bits. Thank you. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. I got to agree with Dermo about this. The idea of just assuming that you got like no way that it would be absorbed into you, like through the inside of your mouth. A fatal difference? Oh, 3D mask. Oh. The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. I hope that, like, it sounds like this is a real poison. I hope this game is accurate. I hope that people didn't like buy this game, play it, and go, I'm gonna go drink curare. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have, ... After getting a molar pulled? If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh, dentists, they're scary. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Oh wait, hang on, we got a pin message. Oh, it's the whole command. Over on Twitch, yeah, well, you know, maybe about shoving tongues in I'll clarify, it's a tooth hole. It's a tooth hole. Just don't have a poison-tipped tongue, okay?
Oh.
So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this.
Oh, we gonna have a breakdown? I mean, I feel like we don't have her on the ropes enough yet, but maybe she's just gonna admit it because it's a tutorial case. Is she giggling? Is this what a girl giggles sounds like? Laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? What is puerile? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Oh, what? Why did she get smashed someone with a bottle? Yeah, you are. Oh. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. Is she gonna ingest the whole bottle? Is she gonna break the bottle? Is she gonna, I mean, she's doing this in front of everybody. If she disposes of evidence, I feel like that should lend credence to the idea that she's the murderer. No! I mean, it could just slip. And she's gonna let go. And then I go clang on the ground. Oh, sorry, it didn't break that time. Let me throw it more. There we go. Smosh. Oh dear. How careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. The fact that you did this is crucial evidence, Brett. No! I'm dead again. What is it? What just happened? Is the English woman? She just smashed the bottle, and in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You! And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? So this is making it seem like that this opening case is going to end with Ryunosuke being wrongly convicted. And then maybe we'll have a time skip and he'll study law in prison before getting his conviction overturned. I hope he doesn't get executed or something. Oh, hang on, we got a pin message over on Twitch. Let's take a look at this. Written by Queen Katie, pinned by Crystal, said, please pin, by the way. At this point, we know she did it for real now. Do you want to know Brett's name fact? Sure. I would love to know Ms. Giselle Brett's name fact. And I'll read a couple more comments in the chat here. Let's see. Crap, where did I leave off? Vera said this one was creative. If he does it without potato, we'll be dubbed smart gun. Vex says, let me get a little sippy. Queen Katie said, go nuts. In spoiler chat right now, Bubba says, we are. Queen Gator says, I'm having flashbacks to investigations too, but that was about the final culprit. This is case 1. Vera says, laughing, it's alive. Egglands! I just made myself some soup. Very on brand. Oh, hang on, we got the pin message here, but first of all, Eggland, so good to have you here. I hope it's maybe in a good magic soup bowl. All right, so a pin message from Queen Katie. This will be the name fact. Queen Katie did say that Jezebel Brett's name had some relevance to Sherlock Holmes. And up to this point, the only female character I could really think of from Sherlock Holmes was Irene Adler. And I couldn't figure out any connection between Jezebel Brett and Irene Adler, except for maybe the fact that their initials, the two of them, like I, A, and JB, it's just like one letter later in the alphabet. Kind of like, wasn't there when 2001 A Space Odyssey came out, there was either a lawsuit or threats of lawsuit because the character HAL 9000, the computer, somebody said, oh, it's obviously the company IBM, because HAL is just IBM, but one letter earlier in the alphabet. So I thought maybe it's something like that, but let's find out together. Her name in the Japanese version is Jezebel Bullet. The name originates from the type of gun that John Watson was shot with in the Sherlock Holmes canon. Wait, he was shot with a gun? I thought we talked about before. I tried to look up and see if he was ever killed, but he couldn't have been because he was the narrator. Maybe he was like shot at one point and survived it? The localization's rendering of the name makes it seem more like a legitimate name, with Brett being an actual name. I don't know, Bullet's like a really tough name. You gotta be like a really hard-boiled private investigator if your last name is Bullet. Either that or you're traffic enforcement, like Jake Bullet from Red Dwarf. For example, Jeremy Brett, an English actor known for playing Sherlock Holmes in the 1984 TV series. Okay, so that's got to be the Sherlock Holmes reference. So it's not Irene Adler at all. It's a reference to the an actor who had played Sherlock Holmes in 1984. Though Jezebel is still not a real name. It sounds like a variation of Jezebel to me, really. But thank you very much for the name fact. I never would have figured that out because I never thought to look up the names of actors playing Sherlock Holmes. I'm ready to a couple more quick comments here. Queen Gator said, so the lady brought a live swan to a restaurant. Are swans even legal in Japan in this era, by the way? Maybe they're legal if they're a hat. I don't know. Vera said, oh my gosh, soup. Queen Gator said, did she illegally bring a swan here? Eglin said, at least we aren't cross-examining it. Oh, I wish we were cross-examining the swan. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Dermo says, in all caps, Logan, he didn't spill the wine on his gunshot wound. Apart from him not spilling the wine on his chest, you spent the first half proving he died before he was shot. That's why I was trying to say that maybe it wasn't actually a gunshot wound, because the whole thing that the reason they were saying it was a gunshot wound was just because it looked like one. There was like powder residue around the chest, but the bullet was like left inside and they never cut him open. So I was thinking maybe what happened, and this was just a theory I had, that she stabbed him with something vaguely like the diameter of a bullet, tipped with poison, stabs him, kills him instantly. When Ryunosuke picks up the other gun, which is like just a dummy gun to try and frame him, she pulls out like basically like a gun with a blank in it, holds it up to his chest right around where the stab wound was, fires, and then that would get, I think in theory, some gunpowder onto him, showing that it was at close range, but it wouldn't actually shoot a bullet. That was a thought I had, but I was wrong. I was very wrong. And Durba says, what the heck, Hosanaga? You had ample time to act. Why did he just stand there shocked? Because this is a cute girl doing it. He just wanted to see where this was going, I guess. Rivulet said, let's go. I love this moment. Okay, so let's play a little bit more then. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
What was that? Rukov! Oh, okay, there's no TTS with Rukov. 61 months, 2 months away from a 7th subscription, baby. You have a bigger subscription family than anyone else here. Thank you for re-upping the sub and for using your Prime sub for it. Thank you, Rukov. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year. Thank you, Rukov. How are you? I do wish that we had more prosecutors who had principles. I feel like if Edgeworth was here, post redemption, post game 1 Edgeworth, he would stop and go no, this is bullcrap. You just destroyed evidence. You were obviously guilty, lady.
Watson was shot in the shoulder during the Second Anglo-Afghan War at the Battle of Maiwand, which forced him to return to London with a medical discharge from the British Army that was pre-canon with a Jezebel bullet.
Thank you, Vero, for the 10 bits. Okay, so that's I got something to say about that then, huh?
Remember, Logan is more afraid of girls than he is of the dark.
Dark mode,
and he
though.
uses light mode on Discord.
Ah, I do. I still gotta figure out how to use light mode on Steam one day. One day! Thank you both, Vero and Rukar, for the 10 bits each. Okay, I thought it was like in one of the adventures that he got shot or something, but I do remember that. In fact, they did a really clever thing in the Sherlock series, where, because yeah, he was shot in the shoulder, but when he got home, he was walking with a cane and acting like it was in his leg, and it was like this little psychological thing. And then he overcame it. It's like, oh yeah, the shot wasn't even in his leg, it was in his shoulder. So I do remember that. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's play a bit more. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, every time I do, it makes me laugh. It's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
Objection! Ha! No, you killed the victim that day using curare! And then in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. I'm just a girl. Back in nowadays, we're all sexist. I could never move a big, heavy man. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. I still think that it was like in the bag, there's probably a second pouch on the other side that had the gun in it.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Oh. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Arg! Okay, let's save in case it asks me some. I get the feeling, as I said before, I am my guess, my theory at this point, if you can call it a theory, is that we are going to be falsely convicted, and that maybe the next case is, I don't know. Maybe we'll be like Blackwell and we'll be a lawyer from behind bars, but it's feeling more and more like this is rigged, unless we're gonna pull something out of our butt. Ooh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke! Yes! We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? Should I use violence? Should I kill her? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head! In my head. I still think we could say that the picture of the purse, it's possible there could still be residue of poison on the inside of that glass, assuming she hasn't already disposed of it. We could also check the purse for a hidden compartment. There might be something else. The glass that she just barely poured, there might be some residue left on that. Let's grab it before she smashes that. In my head? Am I gonna have a mini game? Is it gonna be like Danganronpa? Am I gonna like hoverboard or like run over hookers with a taxi? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. Huh? What I saw, what I felt, what I smelt, I had dealt. Meat. Meat. Every color meat. Meat. That's human blood. Huh? Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my... I'm not that this matters! The photo was black and white. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? I'm gonna save. I'm going to assume that there's a clue. That's the more interesting answer. But again, even if our memory is in color, the photographic evidence is in black and white. There's a clue. A clue, a clue. Da-ba-ba-ba.
First time chatter.
Oh, thank you, Vero! I will check first time chatter. Let's see. We have... I hate peeps. Are we talking like the Easter candy or people? Saying British English. Welcome, I hate peeps. Since you're new here, I gotta give you the rundown of the channel. Hi, my name is Logan. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We just started a new main game, which is this, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We've done all the other Ace Attorney games other than the Professor Layton crossover before. Other games we've played in the past include like Danganronpa, Persona, Deltarune, Omori, stuff like that. And I read every comment in chat. I am always very far behind. So let me scroll down and see if there was any other things that you said. Just so I can say hi to you. Oh, there, Ryunosuke, quote, every color, even the ones everyone else can't see. Exactly! I don't know if anybody else has already done this in the chat for you. I hate peeps. But let me give you our link tree, and I should copy this over to YouTube again, just in case there might be any lurkers over there who have not seen this. That has all of our social media, including a Discord invite, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that stuff. See? Check it out if you want, or ignore it. There's no pressure, but welcome. I'd love to hear how you found us. Are you a fan of Ace Attorney, I assume? Oh crap, I accidentally clicked ahead. What was the last thing he just said? Actually, Kazuma. Yeah, so I'll get back to the game, but thank you for being here. Thank you, Vera, for the 10 bits. And let me know, we had a new person in the chat. I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Ha ha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Then she won't have any facial features, except a nose. Ha! All right, I can't wait. It's been... I don't want to say that word. I don't want to say that word. I feel like it's too easy to trip up and accidentally say something bad. Me for a while that something feels amiss with my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... Okay, let's save again, and let's even stagger our saves just to be extra save here. It's gonna be the blood, right? It's gonna make me point something out. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is the blood. The blood? Are we technologically advanced to blood test? I mean, the blood's probably dried. I doubt it. Let's present it anyway.
Take that!
Ha! Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was realizing she dropped that bottle before. Yes, what is it?
He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. Yeah, he was. Huh. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for for perfection in your investigations, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Attention!
Wait a minute. Where are you going with...
Where are you going with this, little boy? He was going to ask you the same question, but he wouldn't have called you little boy. It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on, oh, there's not even any blood drawn. Was it wiped off? Was a spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it?
Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. When I shot him, his back was turned to. I mean, when I did not shoot him.
Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood of the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Yeah. Then we got an organ plate. I'm going to read a few more comments in the chat. Vero says, this reminds me of the person who went through TSA with their cat posed as a hat. And the cat was very still. I need to find the video. I have not heard of this. Can you post in the Discord? I must see this. Quiggita said, I will spam so many buckets here if Logan figures out without a potato, because even the game is trying to help Logan. Oh, Quiggita says, vibrates madly. Crystal says, doing good. Wi-Fi is finally back after 11 days? So long. There's the Nora raid. Nora's raiding in. Hope her tears don't mess up your stream. Nora says, pretty girls who I want to become. I love Honkai Star Rail. I didn't skip any tutorials. She's lying. Quiggita said, I didn't say you skipped them. I said you didn't read them. Difference. Nora said, I did read them. I just didn't follow instructions and I forget things. Crystal said, skill issue. Nora, skill issue. Quiggita says, Logan, the swan eyes has a black mask-shaped spot. Vera says, hi, Nora. Crystal says, but what if the swan actually alive and is pooping there? /J. Oh, you /J, but bird, they poop out their cloaca. I'm gonna read some comments over on YouTube now. I gotta scroll up a little bit. Dermo says, solution, eat the carpet. Not that way, yeah, don't just munch on it. Literally, if they die, it was poison. Well, you gotta get a wound in your mouth first, then you eat it, right? Dermo says, Logan, a Jezzail bullet is a type of bullet. Oh, the type he was shot with in the war. That's the pun. She named after bullets. That's what Vera Man said. It was a Jezzail bullet, so that it is an actual type of bullet. Interesting. Derma said the one that killed him, even a blank at point blank, ha ha ha, would be lethal. Oh, no, not really. I was in a movie once where I got killed by being shot with a gun with blanks in it. You do need to be absolutely careful with it. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. But I mean, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I don't think. At least according to their explanation. I wasn't at point blank range, but still. But then again, maybe back in their days, they didn't have like quality blanks or something. Maybe back in the around the turn of the century from the 1800s to the 1900s, it would have. I don't know. And then Derma says, you think that is bad, at least in Irish slang, a small nagging pain is called a, have to be real careful with that one. Yeah, don't want to risk that. Do not want to risk that. Thank you very much, Dermo. Vera says, is he going Super Saiyan? Quiggin says, timestamp 1 hour, 9 minutes. Oh, look at that. I am less than a half hour behind. So to our new friend, I Hate Peeps, I am just shy of a half hour behind in chat. I'm so sorry. Vera said, he said the thing. Nora said, anyways, guess who is going to stay at all, who is going to stay at all of stream tonight for the first time forever? Nora, is it you? It's so good to have you here then. Fear with a smile. Queen Gator said, good timing. We hope Logan beats case 1. Nora says, Kim needs to lock in. I'm telling her she needs to finish the game before Logan. That should be pretty easy considering how slow I go. Crystal says, the pure confusion is so real. Vera said, Logan, ... Oh, that was pinned earlier. Or TTS'd earlier. Queen Gator said, we were so close to use the whole command as a hint, Logan. Boba says, I have Bithrian screaming into my pillow for the last 30 minutes is because of me. Because I'm dumb. Vera laughing. Quiggita said, we've truly suffered for the past 10 minutes, Logan. It was a tooth extraction. Do you not remember the original whole command? Yeah, I had forgotten about that. To be fair, his corpse had a much larger, more obvious gaping wound. Let's play some more of the game. There's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Whoa! Huh. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Jezzail Brett! I beg your pardon!
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Okay, that is fair.
Because how many times have we been doing cross-examination in all the other Ace Attorney games where someone's like, oh, I just remembered something, and it's an obvious lie? We've even called that out before, that if you say, oh, I just remembered, then it's a lie. And we need to provide evidence. We can't just say, I remember there being blood. And the photo's in black and white, so it doesn't help anything.
Hold it!
Oh, wait, no, we're asking if Hosonaga saved the plate, so maybe he's gonna say whether there was blood residue on it. And this is blood. Oh, she's dabbing her cheek.
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean?
Yes, I took the plate in the interests of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. I will take anyone's meat. Give me your meat. Men in the court, give me your man meat.
Who did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating.
Wait, the sergeant? Why'd you take his steak? He wasn't there.
And I did it all in the name of justice.
You're weird, man, but it worked out for me. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
I said I took it, but I cleaned it. I'm a waiter.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
Chat, I should ask Queen Katie, like, do we have more cross-examinations here? How much longer is this gonna be? We're over halfway through the stream. I thought we would wrap up this case soon.
Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered, the steak.
Well, is it well, or is it rare? What about the blood? Is there blood on it? If there's blood on it, it's not well, it is rare.
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector! The blood, man! Show the court blood! Blood, 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 blood! We crave blood, blood.
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
There's no blood.
No blood.
Do we have a bad memory? Did it get wiped off? Did it soak? You know, because it would leave a stain.
No blood. Anywhere.
But no, that's impossible! Okay. I have a theory. I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. I have a theory. I mentioned before when we were looking at the different photographs that the steak looks like it was eaten a different amount here. Like this is the one we're seeing there that has a big old chomp mark taken out of it there. But when we take a look at the photograph over here, no such chomp mark. And you can tell it because and this is the one that had the blood on it. If we count the number of squares, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter squares. But then when we look at this one over here, unless they took artistic liberties, this has 1, 2, 3 and a quarter squares. So maybe, in addition to rotating the body around, she ran over to where someone else had been sitting, such as, oh no, it was Yasanosa, because he had the beef steak as well, right? Swapped them, and so that's Yasanosa's. Yeah? And that's why there's no blood on it. Because it's the wrong plate. So I assume that she did that unless, that would be the easiest thing. The other possibility is that she moved him, which might involve this piece of evidence a little bit, that he was somehow like in the wrong chair. But crap, we're gonna have to bring back Yasanosa and ask him. But I feel good about this, yeah. I'm confident. I am confident about this. Let me read a couple more comments to the chat though. Queen said literally the proper use of that command, and Oak wasn't even here for it. Vera said shout out Oak. Queen said who would have thought. Oak birthed the perfect hint for the AA case. Magpie said she already drank the whole bottle of water. Vera said feed the swan the bottle. Crystal said sigh, the only time the command is perfect, Oak is not here. Vero, no. Queen said please pin. Or there's pinned earlier, and Bubba said just remember there's now poison covered glass shards on the floor. Yeah, so if you step on them, you dead. You're very dead. Oh, that's how you test it. All right, Jezeel Brett, take off those little shoesies. Show the court your feet. Show the court your feet. Bubba says, anyone on the stand stomps hard enough and they dead. You're right. Eglin said, didn't she just fill a glass with water from the bottle? There's probably more there. Crystal says, Twitch, stop. I want to pin. I don't want to unfollow Katie. Stop it. Don't unfollow me, Crystal. Queen said, Twitch really wants you to refollow me so many times. Vera said, it makes for a good backstory. Be a lawyer and chase her to Britain and wait until she's convicted of another crime. Chris says, get that new follower /J. Let me take a look. Oh, there's the little emotes over on the YouTube chat. Thank you, whoever is spamming those. I gotta read some chat over there. I always like the immediate positive reinforcement of little emotes. They're little 100s this time. Let's see. Rivulet says, Hosanaga, my favorite weird guy. He's growing on me. When we first met him, I wasn't feeling it, but I'm liking him now. Durwa says, we can finish this case, Logan. We're mostly there, even if it's excessively long. Stakes measured in the standard unit of squares. Well, I mean, am I wrong? Although the squares are kind of lined up differently. Before they kind of went across this way. Now they're going diagonally. But still, it's a different stake. It is a totally different stake. Unless the artist just drew things slightly differently. Katrina says, sorry, I'm not gonna watch today. Frowny face. Katrina, was that you doing the emotes? Hi, thank you for popping in. Brief though it was. It's always a delight to see you, Katrina. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Rivulet says, yeah, you can do it, Logan. I don't know how long this case actually is. I just know it's long. And Durba says, the emotes are basically a Skinner box. Do good thing, be rewarded with flashy thing. Then I want to do good thing. I want to play game good. I game good, guys. See? It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Wait. Don't swans, are they like geese? Do they honk? Do they caw? You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. She definitely did a racism! Arg!
I couldn't agree more. Wait, what? In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
Did he do a racism? Was he racist against himself? I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Oh, this sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. The meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch. It was removed from the victim's table after the incident. Was the plate I saw? Or thought I saw? Just a figment of my imagination? Well, let's save. Let's take a look at the steak. See if we can find some more evidence besides just the number of squares on it that would suggest that there is something wrong with it. Court record. Go there and examine. All right, so we can look at the meat. What? It's the coin on me outside! It's Kurio Correcta's coin that he was looking for, so it's his plate. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark of it is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Well, if only there was a character who had mentioned a Koban coin multiple times in this trial. Oh, wait. Did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. Huh, this isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bullion. Okay, credit where it's due. That's a good pun. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means
That cow had a coin in it! Oh, we're just gonna keep looking. Apparently that's on the bottom side. And on the downside. And look at the... I can look at the imprint thing. Huh? This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? A cat with horns? And a long snout? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of La Carnival, is it? That was totally important. Anything else to click on? Can't click on the juices. Can't click on the... Okay, so there, I found it. Can I click the coins for some more info? I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable. Oh, hang on, we got a pin message on Twitch I just noticed. This is written by Queen Gate, pinned by Vera. Said, please pin, we have one more trial paragraph in the guide, aka 7 things left to do? I have so much faith. Well, we're obviously on the right track. We do have like well over an hour and like 10 minutes before the 3-hour mark. I think we can make it there. I think we can. I'm gonna read some more comments in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Quiggy said it's part of his backstory. Watson casually mentioned that he was shot with that in the first page of the first book. Study in Scarlet. I thought it was like something that happened like during the stories, but yes, I do remember that. Magpie said, I believe Jezebel bread is often referred to it, also intentionally sounding like Jezebel, but I don't know how true that is. Crystal says, quote, oh yeah, I got shot once. Anyways, back to the story of Sherlock Holmes. I think it was because like Sherlock was able to deduce it or something like that. Nora says, Logan, what? Queen said literally the introduction of the story as he's starting the narration of the case. Imagine the gasp I had when I read that. Nora said, I got Callie and Kiara Funko Pops. Oh, nice. I mentioned before, not a big fan of Funko Pops, but the Hololive gals are neat. Although I mentioned on Discord, I guess we don't even talk about it. Well, it was sad that Hololive, their parent company, is basically dropping all support for their male division, Holostars. I think just the Japanese side, not the English side, but they're... You know that thing that they say in Japan where they don't like fire people from a company? They just like give them nothing to do and no support and no help and no nothing in hopes that they eventually quit. It feels like that's what they're doing to the JP Holostars. And they also like got rid of their Holostars like audition page, so I don't think they're getting any new people ever. It's sad. Noah says, Rukov! And Queen Gated with the timestamp, 1 hour, 24 minutes. Okay, still leaving less than a half hour than before by about a minute or so. Quigita says, dang, I need a popsicle after all this suffering. It's like a drink, but just frozen fruit and cane sugar. Quigita said, thank you, Vero. Vera salutes. And Quigita says, oh yeah, a hardcore Sherlock fan. Seeing Watson dead and this lady having this name. Yeah, she's clearly the killer, lol. I'm half joking, but looking back at it, it's very cheesy. So it's like the bullet that hits Watson is the lady that killed Watson in this. I see. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Katrina says, I will listen. Oh, thank you, Katrina. I really appreciate that. Derma says, I love how specific they are about the coin type because coins found under stakes is a common occurrence. We need that extra connection. I guess it's just in case that you want to be like, okay, anyone could have done it. So it's a rare coin, so it has to have come from this guy. But still, it's probably a step more than necessary. And then Derma says, come on, lock in, Logan. I believe you can complete the case. Okay, so let's play some more. Let's do it. It's well marinated in the juices as well, or as we learned they're called before, the suckers. Look at the suckers. Come on, Kazuma, look at my suckers. Look at my meat suckers. What are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure, my heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. All right, so that's like everything, yeah? We've clicked on all the stuff. All right, let's keep going. This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke! It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Okay, so I guess we are winning this. I was thinking that maybe there would be a swerve that we get wrongfully convicted, but apparently not. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. What if there's something scary behind me, Kazuma?
Believe in myself? Really? But I suck. Huh. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. All right, let's save in case I have to like present it in a weird way to the judge. Saving now. I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue.
Ha! Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of evidence. So I'm gonna have all the prostitution I want. That is what she said, right? I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found?
It's underneath it. Can I lift it up?
Why did I put it back down? It's underneath the steak. It's underneath it. Oh, there we go. Huh? The thing I was just talking about at length a minute ago is surprising to me. What in the world is this?
I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoe era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, what did you say? It was a Hoe Koban? Yes, and apparently for the meat juices, looks at me in good condition, I mean, it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that we've been talking about Koban. I heard pearls before, so I never heard of bullion in bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. Except that this is the second time we've heard of it. Okay, and then we need to zoom in even closer on the Koban coin. Go in there. I certainly never expect to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. Okay, so it's not gonna zoom in this time. So we just gotta like present it though. I'm marinating the juices. Look, Cosmo, look at my marinated juices. Come on, Cosmo, we're just a couple of bros comparing our juices to each other. Comparing our beef juices. Come on, bro, check out my beef juice. Okay. There's only one logical explanation. And present!
Got it!
Got it! Do I have a British accent in this? Good gracious! That's...
Koban?
Is a Koban coin the type of coin that Meowth has on his head? Because it looks like that. Anybody know in the chat? Huh? What on earth?
A Hoe era one at that.
Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life! I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it!
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin underneath the meat? I mean, if it was a bone, you could have meat on the bone, or bone on the meat, or meat bone on the... What could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef at a moment of distraction?
Objection!
Don't be absurd! We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen! A rare Hoe Koban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. I'm gonna save again. I feel like it's gonna ask me whose it was, and I'm gonna get it confused because the coin obviously belongs to Curio Correcta, but the steak itself might belong to Yesanosa, so I might click it wrong. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat though. Let's see, Nora said, if I had a nickel for every time they say, look at this photograph in the first Phoenix Wright game, I would have 100 nickels. Magpie said, every time I will, I quote this song. Vera says, dead from alcohol poisoning. Vex says, and every time I'll quote the vine. Nora says, Okana always do too. Oh, hang on, I accidentally clicked the thing. I'm gonna click here. What is he saying? Yeah, I'm gonna be underneath a piece of steak. Ticket to Great Britain. Crystal says, the butler is still doing the Pikachu surprise face, by the way. Nora says, Watson, Amelia, my goat! Since Ame is based on John Watson, whenever people talk about him, I think of her. Well, then this is our second game in a row where your Ame stand-in has been killed, Nora. I'm sorry. Crystal says, in my head, zombie, oh. It's from the Cranberries, which I think she's, Dermo, you might know this. Cranberries, the lead singer, she passed away a few years ago, but she's Irish, right? And there's where I Hate Peeps came in, saying British, English. Pierce said, laughing Nora. Nora said, I hate girls with my car mentioned. Pierce said, welcome in. I Hate Peeps says, Ryunosuke, every color, even the ones everyone else can't see. Bub said, Ryunosuke's superpower is he has eyes and a memory that can remember colors. Have you guys seen that meme where people talk about, like, picture an apple? And do you picture, like, a real apple in color, or do you not? So he has like good memory. Nora says, remember that's how Nora misogyny arc started. I remember exactly when it was. It was October 2024 because I was in my hotel in Kansas for a convention. Queen said, imagine Ryunosuke is colorblind. Chris said, welcome in to I Hate Peeps. I would ask if I can call you Peeps for short, but I don't know if that's something you would hate. Bubba says, oh, welcome in. I disagree with your namesake, but I agree to disagree. I Hate Peeps says, Ace Attorney fans, I'm just hopping from stream to stream to provide trivia where applicable. Oh, I'd love to hear some trivia as long as it's not spoilers. Vera says, you'll fit right in. I Hate Peeps says, you think the flowing headband is hereditary? Well, we're running with a head can that he's just got a steady stream of flatulence. It's wafting it. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Oh, we got more emotes over there. Let's take a look at YouTube. I gotta scroll up a little bit. Katrina says, bye Katrina, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, brief though it was. Rivulet says, yummers, beef juice. Rivulet said, I also gotta sleep. Good night, Rivulet, thank you for being here and hanging out. Hopefully we can see you at a future stream. We'd love to have you here more. And Dura says, yup, Irish. And that song is about the Troubles, a conflict with the British. She's from Limerick, not too far from where my family is from, so yeah, big fan. I only know 2 of the Cranberry songs, unfortunately, but they're very interesting. She has a very interesting voice, I think. But thank you for the clarification of the trivia. Oh, wait, is Katrina still there? I see a smile, a little kitty cat face and a smile face. I'm glad to have you here as long as you're able to be here for Katrina. Let's see, Vera said he needs to hide his receding hairline. Magpie says, I drew Kazuma as a bug with Hachimaki antennae, so I think it's part of his species/silly. I need to look up this. What is Hachimaki antennae? Is that what he said? Hachimaki. Oh, that's just the type of headband. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying now. I think they even said that earlier in the game and I had to Google it before. Let's play some more. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Huh, Your Excellency. Yes, Council. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. The job that I don't even actually have. Oh, I'm willing to sacrifice that much.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? Huh! Why are we not like calling Ryunosuke to the stand then? I know that they say you should have the defense avoid testifying, but it sounds like we got pertinent info. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. So yeah, go get Curio Correcta. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is, I'm gonna save again, is Curio, but just in case they're gonna say like, oh, I should have clicked on Yesanosa because it was his beefsteak. Unless they both had beefsteak. Maybe I am misremembering. Curio Correcta.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Correcta-san. Curie? Wait, I thought it was Curios. Is Curie? Yeah, Curie? As in, is that a typo? Did she spell it wrong? As in, Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Stop doing racisms! Ah, yes, racism. Us old people love it. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. Yeah, he was on his hands and knees looking for it because he misplaced it. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure. Indeed, the Hoera Koban, my prized coin. Then, this Hoera Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
Oh, no, please, why would Correcta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
It does if she swapped the plates to move the one that had blood on it! Which is why I'm asking to bring Correcta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer! Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, because we just like having two on the stand in this game for some reason. So yeah, bring the dude with the baby. Without a moment's delay! Hubbub. Why two? Y2K. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's the key element in the case. We got an hour. Oh, wait, 4 are gonna be on the stand? What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? I don't know. You don't need to be here, bro. I think it's the new game mechanic of like looking at other people on the witness stand. Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Yeah, exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. That's what we do to dogs all the time. We make them lie. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A ruined man in a trice? A worthless, withered antique. What is a trice? I have to Google so many words. Not thrice, but just trice. Trice. This is trice. Oh, just in a moment. Okay, so a trice is a moment. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rouse Tay shop owner's existence. I'm gonna kill myself with this later. I ain't messing around. Be that as it may, Correcta-san, kill yourself afterward. For right now, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, that's it, the very exact one that is. What did the judge say? Have you ever seen this Koban be? Yeah. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be! Huh, as I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. That's what enlighten means, right? Kill me. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? It was, again, I think it was probably stolen by Yasunosa, hidden under his steak, but then all this crap hit the fan. Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaked in the seasoned succus of the meat's juices. Sandwich, soaking, seriously, succus. Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Oh, that's why we brought the sergeant back. To accuse him. Somebody concealed my Hoey treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. I will stab him. I've shown you multiple times I got a knife. I'm not afraid to use it. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Excuse me. Could I say something?
Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga.
I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Oh, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele.
Look how nervous Sergeant Yesano says. I'm part of it's because the baby's tugging on his mustache. I'm gonna read some more in the chat though. I need to read some more because I'm thirsty for water and for chat comments. Let's see. I Hate Peep says the fork was the true murderer. No! Quigeta said, awesome, I'm also a trivia enjoyer. I just shared Brett's name fact earlier, fun times. I Hate Peep says, fun fact, character designer Kazuya Nuri dislikes extraneous details, so he requested that all willy-nilly details be relevant to the plot. Really? I'm gonna have to pay more attention to the willy-nilly details. So, cause like the sergeant has the baby and the pointy mustache. I'm gonna pay more attention, but thank you very much, I Hate Peeps. Vera said I posted the Cat TSA video in Discord. Thank you, Vero! And a timestamp from Queen Katie, 1 hour, 36 minutes. I am now more than a half hour behind. I Hate Peeps says, Ryunosuke is listening to you very intently. Magpie says, I bet it depends on what kind of blank. There's probably one for the flash and the sound, and one that's much less safer and uses a point blank. Just taking a shot, in the dark. So maybe that's what it is then. Vera says, so focused. Queen says, all right, I promised book it. I Hate Peep says, Hosanaga's voice is so gentlemanly. Is that in a good way? Vera says, Hosanaga? Queen said, okay, I'm definitely headcanoning Hosanaga as Fulbright's ancestor. His energy is too matching. So should I switch him to the Fulbright voice? Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. He seems too proper for the boisterousness of the Fulbright voice, but I'll still headcanon him as his ancestor. I like that. And then Quigeta says, anyways, forgot to get a popsicle. I'm doing that right now. I Hate Peep says, Hosanaga, inspect it in 3D. Spin it around in a featureless void if you so choose. Quigeta said, wait, no, Logan has a theory. I gotta listen. Kaifi says, quack. How you doing, Kaifi? Bumble says, honk. Kaifi says, howdy, Mr. Roboto. How you doing, Kaifi? Quigeta said, okay, I now can eat watermelon pops. Kaifi said, can someone quote the show the court your feet? I don't think you need to add that quote. You don't need to add that quote. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see. Rivulette says I'll probably be here next stream. Thank you so much, Rivulette. Hopefully we'll see you then. I'm possibly the next Ace Attorney stream or tomorrow's Nosia stream. Either way, I look forward to seeing you then. Katrina says bye. Dermot says her voice is a good example of a limerick accent, at least with women. My aunts talk like that. The lead singer of Cranberries says Dolores O'Riordan. I'm probably saying that wrong. That's her name, not to be confused. Dolores Keane, another Irish singer, but unrelated. Also, I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, but I tried. I tried my best. Let me have a sip of water. Hang on. Okay, let's keep going.
A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed! As opposed to righteous crimes, like your stealing of evidence. Hats off to you, Hosanaga.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected.
So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it?
Yes. I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis.
It's the sergeant, yeah?
The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems.
I don't know about the master thief part, but
The identity of the person who stole and hid Kurekta-san's Koban is all too clear. I think it's clear. I think it's Yesanosa, but I'm gonna save just in case. And it's gonna be sad because we're gonna send that baby's daddy to the prison. Maybe he can take the baby with him. Can you bring your baby to jail, to prison?
What?
Wait. I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Correctus-san's Koban and hid it under the stake? Yesanosa.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you! Sergeant Yesanosa!
What? How? How dare you, you monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? Because I'm adding am I at the end of those are not confessions, by the way. You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. I'm throwing this baby under the bus. Throw this child, this infant child, into prison. Ido was the mastermind behind all this.
I'm just glad that these aren't capital offenses. I don't want us to execute a baby, but apparently we're locking one up. Woo! Baby. All right, guilty baby. Ha! You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa!
Not even a real baby, he's a puppet.
Is the baby ratatouing it with his mustache?
Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop.
I did it. Salute.
Nihon Imperial Army Sergeant Yesanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
Oh, and his mustache is all squiggly now. So are we getting 2 breakdowns this case?
Get out of here. Do any of you know how hard it is to raise a baby? Is that what we're saying? Of the extraordinarily low wages the Nihon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe.
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I've apparently studied history of nowadays. Oh wait, we got a pin message over on Twitch, written by Quiggity, pinned by Vera. Looks like this was some more Yesanosa fact. Yesanosa's name in the Japanese version is Taizo Uzukumaru. His surname Uzukumaru likely comes from Uzukumaru, meaning to curl up into a ball. His given name Taizo may come from Taizo, meaning hoarding. The baby's name in the Japanese version is Kuromaru, Uzumaru, which likely comes from Uzukumaru, meaning to curl up into a ball, and his given name Kuromaru likely comes from Kuro, meaning hardship. Aw, I was hoping it was gonna stand for thief baby. I still want to headcanon the baby ratatouille'd him by the mustache to steal money for him, to steal stuff. Okay, let's keep going here. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. Have you considered OnlyFans?
I'm not attractive enough. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worrying. Worryingly believable. That's why the steak had like a big chop mark out of it. Oh yeah, instead of like being cut with a knife, it had actual teeth marks. But if he's just worried about a meal for his son, why is he getting fancy beefsteak?
And your target that day was the old man and his Koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. You should be in Persona 5. Why do I know about these things?
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang!
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double.
Not very good hiding place to hide it in your steak. You would have been better off like chucking it across the room, making it seem like, oh, the old man probably dropped it.
I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
You thought the restaurant was gonna keep your steak till a later date?
I'm gonna kill that guy. I'm gonna kill him. You just try and hold me back. I will kill any man, woman, or child that gets between him and me. Oh.
Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub.
Oh, is that what's her face? That Giselle? This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling on your own time. Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you for any longer at all. Who? Bow. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed! The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Your Honor, why was his steak at the other table? Your Honor! I'm gonna read some more comments in the chat. Vera said to Queen Katie, was this pinned? I Hate Peep says, fun fact, Ryunosuke uses the period-appropriate Kashira, literally, I wonder, occasionally. It is so unusual for anyone other than a woman or feminine person to use it that it was flagged as a bug by a playtester. Interesting, but it's period appropriate, huh? That's very cool. Queen Gita says, nope, Vera with the salute. And by the way, I Hate Peeps. I hope you'll be at more of these streams in the future. I'd love to hear more of these bits of trivia. I'm enjoying this. Wait, hang on. Do we have another first-time chatter over there? I just glanced over the bottom of the chat. And there's someone else named the multi-console legend. You've been here before, right? I think. Hope I'm remembering you correctly. Am I mistaken? I'm gonna keep reading some more. Quita said to Vera, nope. Vera salutes. Bumble says, you remember the coin, but not the truth extraction. Magpie said this is exactly the kind of thing I would end up flagging to work too. I worked on a visual novel type of game as a QA tester, lol, but for English games, so I would just flag other weird phrasing. Quita says, the groan I had. Kaiva says, I groaned hearing Logan say bullion. No offense, Logan, am I saying it wrong? Oh, Bullion? Wait, it's Bullion, right? Bouillon? Am I saying it wrong? Peep says, let's just grab Cosma, vault over the bench, pocket the coin, and bolt for the door. Noah says, I don't watch Hollow Stars, but it still really sucks they're doing all this. Kaiva says, I'd like to be well marinated in some juices. Wait, does ocean water count as juices? Sure, that's the Earth's own suckus. Magpie says, I think at this point, the ocean is soup. Nora said, I'm so cold. Kaiva said, can you put juices in soup, like meat juices? Kaiva says, darn. Queen says, 4 things left. Multi-console legend says, hello. It's been a while since I've shown up here. Be here for a teeny bit, maybe or not. Me tired, though. Well, it's good to have you back again. How are you doing? The multi-console legend. Bubba says, or the bone meat on multi-console legend said, have you ever done voice acting? I feel like you could. I've done a little bit of voice acting. I mostly have done like on-camera acting, but I've done like a few voiceover jobs and things. I'd like to do more, but most of them are just like, it'll be like radio ads for like, most of VO auditions are like, here, we need a radio ad for someone to tell you to buckle up for safety. And it's like, okay, here's my voice. Do you like my tone of voice saying that? All right. So like, I wish I could do like cartoon type of stuff. Multi-console legend said, zombie is good song. Kaivi says, I remember in silhouettes. Bubba says, can all of you spin cubes in your brain? Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Oh, it's such a nice cube. Kaiba said, you can picture a cube. Bumbo says, yes. Multicolor Console Legend says, I can kind of spin cubes in my brain, kinda. Magpie says, I worked with a teacher once who told the kids, and if you're bored, just rotate a cow in your head. And think about her like, okay, which way do you want to rotate the cow? Because I'm imagining rotating around like horizontally, but I kind of want to make the cow do a backflip. Let me take a look over some YouTube chat. Let's see. Derma says, Mr. Robot. Domo arigato, Mr. Robot. Well, that's from the band Styx. If only Wendy was still here. I think she probably already left. She knows Styx. Frilzy says, steak. Derma says, yeah, he could have just dropped it on the ground. Also, apparently this restaurant has a steak reservation system, ensuring he'll be able to retrieve it. That's the weird thing. The get it back at a later rendezvous. It's like, no, it's done. Flee from this scam. Theft on another day. Yeah, just toss it on the ground because Kurio already thought he dropped it. So if it shows up later on the ground, he's like, oh, that's where I dropped it. Boom! It's like, no problem. Let's see. Derma says, dreams is greater than zombie, 100%. Ooh, I agree. Frilzy says, I'm gonna have too much fun rotating cows in my mind now. So which way are you doing it? Doing it around like that? You having them flip? What are you doing? I need another sip of water. I'm almost done with this. Let me finish this one off. By the way, we are almost to the 2.5 hour mark, so on the Twitch side, if you want to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions for later on, now would be a good time to look for those for when we reach the 3 hour mark. If we might go a little bit over time if we're like close to finishing and haven't quite made it by 3 hours. Of course it is. Wait, well, of course what is? Oh yeah, it is appear to be unrelated to the murder. But again, no, it shows that the stakes were swapped. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it?
And
as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. All right, there we got her. That even further verifies that it wasn't her steak because there's a bite mark chomped into it. Very well. I'm so glad that I noticed right off the bat that they were two different steaks in those photos. You probably thought I was crazy, but I caught it. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you're free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Curtsy. And good day. Huh. Wait a second. Good day. But it's a bad day for me.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. It's that she thought chomping in the steak was bad. I'm gonna save in case the game asks me and I do a stupid again. I've done multiple stupids tonight, and I want to be able to scum my saves on stupids.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry! Gomenasai!
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
My arms are shaking. I'm an old man. Wait, why is Ouchie Art still bowed down? Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Attention! What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Do I get to pick them? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. The question is, do we present the plate? Because I think we've already established that isn't her plate, or do we present the photograph that shows the plate that was chomped into? I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. I'm going to guess we show the photograph. but I'm gonna keep saving. I want to get this right. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Because this is supposedly her meal, but it shows a chomp mark. But this is the photo that shows a chomp mark also. Is the game gonna be nice and allow me to present either of these two things? I'm gonna try presenting the photo and see what happens. Present! I mean, I just saved so I can switch it if I need to. The photo, I think we got it. The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, okay, go on. Tell me more about her lady's meat. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs. What's it like? I miss mine.
Yeah, because it's not her steak. It's Yesanosa's steak. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
It's cooked. Cows aren't usually cooked naturally. We do that to them. Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Oh, I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
That's not exactly what she said, but okay, go on. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at the steak.
Take a look at this beef steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten.
As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Also from a very wide mouth. Oh!
Oh!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. Just a little. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help but shut up.
Hanker.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, this will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Let me finish!
What did he say?
Just leave everything to...
I've had enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic!
I still can't even tell if that was a racism. Of course, dear lady!
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? I'm gonna save in case the options it gives me aren't obvious. Save, my game. Save my progress, save my progress. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. Yesanosa has a huge mouth. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Okay, because I feel like this shows what happened to the bloodstain, but we still need evidence to prove it was her though, right? I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything? You know everything? Do you know what I did that one time in the middle school bathroom when I was 13? Oh,
I gotta read some more in the chat. Kyvie says, I don't have a vivid imagination or memory, which is probably why all my hallucinations so far have been very faded. Queen said, that's quite the advice. Wow, peak teacher. 3 things left. Timestamp 2 hours, 5 minutes. I'm still a half hour behind. Queen said, we have an hour. We're so close. Crystal says, ooh, Logan is doing good. Multi-console says, Logan, I think you could be a great VA. I believe this highly. Well, thank you very much, Multi-console. I would love to get more voiceover work. I mostly do on-camera work, but I think that's part of why I kind of like having being a flesh tuber instead of becoming like a VTuber, or because I can emote with my face, you know. Although I think I emote on here much more than I would for like serious dramatic on-camera work. There I'd be like trying not to move my eyebrows as much as I do on here. But thank you very much, Multi-Console. Nora says, I know I said I was going to stay for all stream, but I'm so sleepy and so cold. But I'm hanging in there. I'm trying my best. Can you get a blanket at least, Nora? Multi-Console says 5, technically. Magpie says, the knife getting stabbed into Yesa's boot while his son watches on in horror. Man's got to get the Japanese equivalent of a Purple Heart, lol. Nora said, I just realized out of all the people in chat right now, I'm the second OGist. Nora says, crazy. Yeah, well, no, were you here before Crystal even? Because Vero, although Vero might be kind of AFK at the moment. Huh. Noah says, crazy. Multi-console says, punt the baby first. Bumble said, not the baby. Multi-console says, old man gonna stab the baby. Kyvie said, we definitely need it. The quote, I mean, of course. Multi-console said, what's the context? Lol, Kyvie. Queen said, name fact incoming soon. Kyvie said, Multi-console says, put the baby in prison, not the sergeant. Bubba said, the baby did it. Vera said, not the baby. Baby revenge! Multi-console says, nah, I say it's a baby. Queen said, instant pin, speed, puzzle, Vero. Queen says, wow, Vero would smile. Multi-console says, I say we execute the baby. We've had too many dead babies in our games. 100 Lion killed, I mean, it was the same baby, but it did it twice. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. I gotta scroll up a little bit. Gotta scroll up. Dermo says, Frulzy, just don't do it IRL. They're very heavy. Well, and that's the whole thing, like cow tipping is one thing. You never hear about cow flipping. Probably, I mean, easy enough to knock over, probably hard to like completely rotate around. Unless they're in the water. Does a manatee count? Because they're the cows of the sea. Tell a manatee to get rotated. Frulzy says, no axis is safe. Well, if you rotate around horizontally, you could probably do the cow, just kind of lead it around in a circle. Derma says, Logan, we're almost there! Frulzy says, no realm is either. Derma says, we can beat it within 3 hours. Frulzy, what about the imaginary axis? That would be a very complex operation. So either the plate or the photo would have worked. Okay, so I could have done either. It's nice when the game realizes that. So thank you. Queen said the game actually lets you present either the plate or the photo. It gave you mercy. Aw, thank you both of you. And Derma says, look at this beefsteak. Every time I do it makes me quake. Good rhyme. Okay. Let's play a bit more. We're so close. I need to open my other water. Oh, wow. That must have been high pressure. Just, I don't know if you saw that, but there was like a spray of water in that direction. You know, sip. And so we gotta be close, yeah? Still think we can do this by the 3-hour mark? It's 22 minutes away right now. Everything? Yes. I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. But again, unless we can track down the other plate and find like the blood on it. Conclusive evidence. How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. And yes, that time I did a racism. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. Oh, if you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? Is it the other plate? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already. It's true. And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
Our objection is so polite sounding. I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very court. Oh, wait, yeah, because didn't Hosonaga say you stole both beefsteaks? And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense of this trial. Just letting the player know this tutorial is almost over. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? It's gonna be Hosanaga. Let's save just in case I'm wrong, in case I'm dumb. But I think I'm right. It's Hosanaga, yeah? Yeah, there we go. Present!
Take that!
I like that sometimes he swings and sometimes he's a little.
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosanaga. What? I have it?
Yes, you're an evidence thief. You got all the evidence, bro.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake with the teeth marks.
Yes, yeah.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following, quote,
I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak.
and as well as admitting to stealing Correcto-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the stake.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? I just realized it's hard for me to do a character that's just my normal voice doing an impression of somebody else because somebody else is just already my impression of that. Chipapapa?
That's a good impression, Ryu.
It was very convincing for the very reason I was just saying. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. Thank you. I appreciate that, Vera. I'm so glad that your internet is holding up today.
Could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake?
Attention! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nihon Army, but still! I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meat. Meal! To hide something in it. Oh no, I could never do that. Don't have the courage to shove my coin into a gentlewoman's meat.
All right, well, in other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Therefore,
Objection.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two stakes over?
No, she did. You dumb, Ouchie?
yeah, he dumb.
Oh crap, I just realized I'm dumb. Oh, you did switch the plates?
Oh, wait, he did? I thought that Giselle Brett did. Okay, he did.
Well, after it happened, the bang. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? Okay, so what is even happening? I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Bubba says, is he a single father? I don't know. Does Yesa Nosa have a wife? Maybe she's working too. Why is he taking the baby? Multi-console says, I think so. Bubba says, I think he will reach this by the time he gets to the part in the case. Multi-console says, old man, about to pull out a knife. Bubba says, so I am going to put the spoiler clip now. Okay, I need to know if I can watch this spoiler clip or not. So I'm gonna read some YouTube chat while I wait to find out. Frozy says, you were legally not allowed to touch a manatee. Really? I heard that about seals. I didn't know that was about manatees as well. Or interact with them at all without certification. I think it's an endangered species. Oh, I guess that would make sense then, I guess. Durba says, man, they're really shaming him for not using the knife and fork. Reject cutlery. Return to bare-handed eating. And Frozy says, but I want to pet them so bad. Okay, while I wait a confirmation that I can watch that spoiler clip, let's play a bit more. Oh, by the way, we're 15 minutes away from the 3-hour mark, so once again, probably not the very last call, but another call for raid suggestions over on the Twitch side of the chat. You can't have! I never saw you do such a thing!
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell
You
ya.
can watch it.
Oh, thank you very much, Vera, for the 10 bits. Okay, watch right after this.
So yes, I did what had to be done.
Okay. So, we have a spoiler clip posted in the chat for anyone who's new, lurking, or does not know the deal. For one thing, if people post a clip, we watch the clip. But also, some of our community members, such as Queen Katie, such as Bumbo, create what we've come to refer to as spoiler clips, which is showing when earlier on in the game, I guess something very right, maybe very, very wrong, or accidentally foreshadow something. So let's see what this spoiler clip, it's simply titled First Spoiler Clip, ? Oh, that's why last time you had one that was called Spoiler Clip 2. So let's see what this is. Take a look at this in the court record. I'm probably just like, thinking too much into this. That is not a straight cut, like from the knife. That is a bite out of it. So I ought to be able to, oh crap, I was gonna say they can check dental records, but this takes place in the past. It's probably before they had like strong dental records. I called it! Can't. But that's, I'm so proud of myself that I noticed that. I even measured out the squares of meat. Thank you very much, Bumbo, for the clip. See, I did a smart. I thought maybe I was overthinking it, that it was just like an artistic error. But I need to learn that there are no art errors, apparently. Multi-console said, yep, I've been here before, long time ago, though, lol, I came from Cypher. Well, good to have you back again. I'm doing much better compared to earlier. I feel you would do good in radio, especially the fast part. Thank you, console. I guess, yeah, I can just call you console for short, instead of just multi-console, right, maybe? I do remember one time, I was having to do one of the voiceover things. I had to do a little bit of like the fast speaking blurb at the end. And they're like, oh, no, you don't have to say it fast. We'll just like edit out the spaces between all the words and make it run really quickly. But I still want to try and do it as fast as I could. Console says, or that Magpie says, I think you can rotate the cow however you want. I like to go on both axes. So it's like a spinning cube by opposite corners. Ooh. Console says, I'm going cow's face going to the right. Okay, there we go. Queen says, add code, wait a second, good day, but it's a bad day for me. Nora says, I can't do this, dog. I'm so tired. So sorry I want to hang out more, but I'm too EP. Bye, chat. Bye, good night, Nora. Thank you for being here and for sticking around as long as you could. I really appreciate that. Queen said, go sleep, Nora. Console says, a good night to you, Nora. Boba says, so fun fact, both the steak and photo work. And Quigita said, also one more thing left in the trial. We just have one final thing to present and timestamp 2 hours, 31 minutes. Okay, we're like less than 20 minutes behind. So we can do this. Let's get back into the game. Back into the game. Unbelievable! No, it's very believable. These are weird people.
However, fear not, prosecutor son.
What now?
Oh, okay, he's promising that's all he did. Okay, that's not what he was worried about.
The brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosanaga. Yes. Earlier, you still got a little something here. Hosanaga. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That, to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Oh, okay, oh, was she biting her mask? Or is she just like, shaking? I think she's just shaking. He's good at his job then, kinda. I mean, I love Gumshoe, but Hosanaga, I guess, is more thorough than him. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. Is he going to be like our gumshoe for the rest of the game? Are we going to see him in his, like, from now on after this case in his regular inspector outfit? Or is he going to just stay dressed as a waiter? Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove... Why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? Lots of puh. You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was confirmation that something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you are eating from, Miss Brett. Let's not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. He's excited. Every time he does that, I'm half expecting him to flip off the camera. Yes, sir. Is he going to run home each time? Oh, and there's a blood stain. Now, sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Blood. Yes, blood. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look. Yes. I don't know who's saying that. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. Let's save. I want to say it was somebody else. I want to say it's, if it gives me the chance, I want to say it's our new Weird Girl sidekick. I want her to do a Maya. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Oh, it didn't give me a choice. Miss Jazale Brett! 3D pointing! It's you! Why is there something dirty between these two knuckles on my hand? I need to wash my hands. Oh, we get to see her breakdown! My swan has gone limp. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Hey! Is she gonna fly away? Oh, it's pooping out babies! Shouldn't they be in eggs? Oh, that one doesn't even look like the others. That one was from the time the swan cheated on. What? She's a murderer. Why did she go to heaven? Is that what death is? Oh, she's back. They kicked her out of heaven. So was the swan just like warming all those chicks? And one of them was black. Is it supposed to be like an ugly duckling type of a thing? Or I think that swan cheated on its swan husband. Please excuse my little outburst. I think it was the swan who was bursting out babies, birthing them live. That swan is somewhat mammalian. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me? Well, Miss Brett, we'll forgive that, but not the murder, okay? You have to say you're sorry for the murder, too. Then we'll forgive it, because you're hot. I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time! Oh, curtsy. Gladly, Your Excellency. So she's gonna confess? Because we still, again, don't know a motive for her at all. Have I presented all the stuff? Is it just story from here on out? I'm gonna save again before we get this info dump and read a couple more comments in the chat because I'm getting close to catching up. See, Queen said also one more thing left in the trial. We just have one final thing to present. Queen of the timestamp, 2 hours, 31 minutes. Magpie says, fun fact, Ouchie's hairstyle is quite common for samurai. The top knot is allegedly supposed to cushion the top of the head from the helmet the samurai would wear. I've seen that hairstyle before, so that's really interesting. Queen said, please pin, you're done with the trial, just story. Okay, so we just got cutscene. As long as it's not like 2 hours of it, do you guys mind if we go a little bit over time? It's another call for, I'm gonna read suggestions for the Twitch side. Kyvie says, I have resting B-face from masking all the time. 3 says, hello, Logan and everyone, how you doing? 3, good to see you. Vera says, I return. 3, welcome in. Kyvie said, this is just the tutorial. Yep, it's just the first case. And we've done like 4 streams of it, 3 hours each. A 12-hour tutorial. Then again, we were still getting tutorials after hour 200 in Persona 5. Vera says, laughing, yeah. Kyvie said, insane. Quita said, Logan is officially done with gameplay for the case. Vera said, internet wasn't holding up earlier today. I was supposed to be on stream. I was supposed to be on stream with her. Wait, who are you supposed to be on stream with? Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Frozy says, she's totally biting that mask, by the way. Derma said the music is so good, the concertina part is so sick, and the tap dancing as percussion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, a concertina...
With Nora, sorry, did that message not send from...
I think you need to co-host one of our streams on this channel sometime, Vero. And just, like, be some commentary. Maybe play some Peak one time. I mean, that'll be cool. Just saying. That'd be a lot of fun. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Vero. Thank you. But yeah, concertina, that's the one that's kind of like, it's like an accordion, but without all the keys and the buttons and everything. So it's just like the 2 things and the big like accordion looking thing for right? I think it's like when I was a kid, I thought that was also an accordion, but that's a concertina, right? Frozy says, well, if you didn't kill the guy, you probably killed Brett by giving her a heart attack, so you'll be convicted anyway. Well, I mean, that's fair. It was in defense of either us or her, though. Frozy says, to add on to that samurai hair fact, the reason the top of the head is shaved bald is so the helmet fits more perfectly on the head. Ooh, interesting. That makes sense. So it's the top knot as the cushion, and then the bald head to... That's neat. I like that. Thank you guys for the trivia. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. What if they'd been alone in the restaurant? Then she needed somebody to frame, right? Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. Okay, since this game is clearly doing a lot of Sherlock Holmes stuff, is it gonna be... Oh, I know, I was gonna say maybe they're gonna introduce a Moriarty character, but no, it's gonna be that, it's because Ryunosuke came over to say hi, and so that created a witness that she had been there, and that's why she had to do all this stuff, extra stuff. Okay, that makes sense. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? I thought maybe Moriarty. Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor.
meant that I'd lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. How? Oh, what was that? Was that supposed to be the bang? That did the screen flashed. I didn't hear a bang, but it got quiet for a second. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. We still don't know her motive. Also, hang on. If I stand just like that, the curtain behind him on the window looks like a continuation of my shoulder, like I'm in the ledge behind him. That's neat. I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. Oh, we've passed the 3-hour mark, so yeah, we are going a little bit over. My apologies, everybody. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. If we want to go really overtime, we can read the 57-point plan from Zote the Mighty again. I had a bottle of curare in my handbag and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Say! The pistol was by her stamen. Under your skirt? Whoa, what is there? What goes under a girl's skirt? So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Okay, this plan is so stupid. Because what if Ryunosuke had been smart enough not to pick up the gun and had just like gone and alerted someone instead? Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, and at which point the waiter appeared. And again, there are so many problems with this. What if the bullet had gone through him? And like gone through him and out through the back of the chair and gone like lodged in the wall? She wouldn't have been able to turn him around and have him point a different direction in his chair. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoined the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around, huh?
To be fair, she had to improvise this plan on the fly.
She's not good at improv. I hope she never joins an improv troupe. She is terrible at improv. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Vero. I will read some more in the chat. We have to be close. I mean, can somebody who's played this tell me, like, how long is this cutscene? It can't go that much longer. We're fine going a little bit over time, right? Let's read some more. Kaivi said, Mar, the British, is known for stealing priceless relics. I meant to say nah at the beginning of that. Oh, not Mar. Vera said, gotta love AA games. Quigita says, amazing. Kaiv said, my grandpa used to swim with manatees. That sounds like a very proper gangsta way of saying, like a proper British mafia way of saying that you died. Hey, swimming with the manatees now. Kaiv said, and my aunt swam with, why did I say aunt instead of aunt? My aunt swam with dolphins. AMC with some emotes. Oh, Vero with some raid suggestions for later on. Thank you very much, Vero. I'm going to copy these over into my text file right now, so we'll be able to keep track of these in a little bit. Thank you, Vero. Give me just one quick second here. There we go. Queen said breakdown time. Vera says let's go. Queen says get ready for some insanity. Vera said I'm so excited. He's not going to expect it laughing. I was not expecting her to ascend into heaven on a swan's wings. That was just a little bit silly. I feel like, yeah, in the earlier games there were such normal breakdowns that like, oh, I go crazy and I throw my toupee. Now everybody is just like full-on Looney Tunes characters. Let's see. Quita said best breakdown. Magpie says I love the desks full of peeping chicks. Vex says and the ugly duckling Grey Dog. Vera said oh he's back. They kicked her out of heaven. Quita says I'd quote. Vera's laughing. Magpie says they are black swans. They are rare but they do exist. Are they like recessive traits? Vex says heck yes. Excellent quote. Vera has a quote. Quita says no way. It's quote 1225. Oh des. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Dermo says, as an aside, I now have the role Logan Time Master on the spoiler server for my time prediction ability. Told y'all before streams, well, what if I ended right now and just said, oh, no, we got to finish next time. Make it 5 streams. I could do that. I have that power, Dermo. Dermo says, under U-skirt, found a typo, another one. And Dermo says, it also relies on nobody being present after the crime to flip Watson's chair around. Yeah, she's bad at improv. Her plans kind of suck. They're suckus plans. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. She sucks at this. She is so bad at this. We still don't even know why she did this. Are we just ignoring the motive? Will it be important later? Is she just a murdery lady? So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. I mean, surely murder is not a felony. I am so sorry, it's a felony. It's a capital offense. We're gonna kill you. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you! I'm gonna get some action. Is she gonna weasel her way out of it somehow, like convince him just to deport her instead? Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Curtsy. Well, I mean, at least we... Oh, she's a ghost! Is everyone a ghost? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be! Taketsuchi Ouchi does not lose! Not to the likes of this rookie student! You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Arg! Ryonosuke Naruhodo! I'll get you for this if it's the last thing I do, probably in the tutorial case of the next game. What, yes? Or is he going to acknowledge him? Oh no, this insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. My descendants will come after your descendants, but always just in the first trial. And then maybe later on, briefly in the kingdom of Karain as well. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Don't draw a deadly weapon in court, bro. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Now I'm gonna kill you with my sword. Ouchie's dead. I just killed him. I don't look like a samurai anymore. Kazuma, this is the judge talking from off screen. That was assault. You're under arrest. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Oh, so that's why he always loses? It's like a curse that Kazuma pronounced on him? Yeah, it was assault. Go to jail. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Here, have a defense attorney badge. It's in a little candy wrapper. It's all yours. I have that power. No one's gonna stop me. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I don't believe in it. The Earth is flat and on a turtle's back. It's turtles all the way down. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. But what it'll look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue.
Kazuma Asogi! You need to die so that Naruhodo can be the main character now. Yes. After this trial, you were set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can! Absorb everything of the wider world that you were able to. This isn't your job, Judge. Why are you giving him advice about life? And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
Okay. I look to the side. I really don't want to go to England. I thought this was my out. I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Oh, does he have like a girlfriend here he doesn't want to leave behind? Is he dating, what was her name, Susato? Are they a couple?
No, never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it? Big protag energy. Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency!
I'm breaking the fourth wall, looking at the camera.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. Hosonaga, could you go up to do we have a loft? I want you to throw some confetti down at us. I imagine in the future it'll be delightful. Let's give the origin for that right here. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty! Oh, there's Sakura blossoms. Yeah, that's even better. Good job, Hosonaga. That's you doing that. That is you, Hosonaga. I hope you never die. This court is now adjourned! Gavel slam! You have some celebratory music. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, defendants Antechamber 5. This is usually where we'd have like the Maya Faith Sisters music playing, right? I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke! All right, I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Have a sip of water. Queen Katie says, also, spoiler clip incoming after Brett's confession. Vera said, yes, all story stuff now. Queen Katie said, please pin, you're done with the trial. Just story, ye overtime, mayhaps. Vera said, overtime, mayhaps. Crystal with some raid suggestions. Thank you very much, Crystal. So we had 3 from Vero and 4 from Crystal. So that should give us plenty between the two of them. Thank you very much. I'm gonna copy these over to my text file right now, Crystal. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, good, that didn't exit me out of the chat when I clicked that. Thank you, Crystal. Vera said, Logan in the gallery. You guys can see what I was saying. It just looked like an extension on my shoulder. Vex says, no gosh, no? What was that to? Did I do something wrong? Oh, and here we go. Here's the spoiler clip from Queen Gate. It said, behold, the 1 and 2 week old spoiler clip? Okay, so we gotta check out what this is. So again, if you're new, if you're lurking, didn't catch it the first time we said it, sometimes members of our community make what we call spoiler clips, which is where accidentally guess something right, guess something wrong, foreshadow something. Oh, this isn't even from my stream. This is from Queen Katie's stream. So this is from a year and 2 weeks ago. Is this like me in the chat? Oh, I see Vero and Nora in the chat. Katie thinking of fun things here. So let's see what this is.
Puzzle's just being a silly night. She produces a pastel from beneath her skirt. I would say something,
like Giselle Brett,
but technically it spoils Logan, so I'm not going to say it. I'll just tell spoiler chat later.
Okay, so I feel good that there's no way I could have ever guessed that. So thank you very much for the spoiler clip, Queen Katie. Queen says, Queen Katie's quote number 68 was that a pistol under her skirt, or was he just angry to see us? LoganRobo, reverse 1999. Oh, did I say that in the chat? Oh, wow, AMC with a hydrate command. Thank you very much, AMC. Crystal says, pistol under your skirt. Fex says, not the 57 precepts. And Vera says, she can then play the victim, even if he didn't pick it up. I guess that makes sense. But
We had to somehow, like, probably... Did they do fingerprints back then? I don't know. Vera said Kazuma saying the thing. Queen says, death to ride. Vera said he cursed his entire bloodline, laughing. Oh, the end of that chat is in sight. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see. Dura says, we define the end as the breakdown. The exposition doesn't count. I think it should count either from the gavel slam or, even better, from when the chapter actually ends and you move to the next one. But that's fair enough. Frulzy says, Judge, don't! She still has a loaded gun! Dura said, Frulzy, true, we never disarmed her. Oh, so maybe it's like a Derringer and only had one bullet and she already used it now. Dura says, oh, so when Blackwell wields a sword in court, it's dangerous and illegal, but when Cosmo does it, nobody says a thing. I think I've been very clear that both Godot and Blackwell have committed assault in court. And, the Rivulet is still here, said, forgot to sleep, sorry? I'm sorry that you didn't sleep because you probably needed it, but thank you for sticking around for so long, Rivulet. I really appreciate it. Now, just so you know, with our schedule, tomorrow we're not playing Ace Attorney. Tomorrow we're trying out the game Nausea. Sunday we're going to continue the game. We'd love to see you at either, but just in case you're wondering when the next time if you're a big Ace Attorney fan. Oh, accidentally clicked out of the game. All right, let's see if we can get through. We're already 15 minutes overtime. Let's see if we can get through the rest of this denouement of the chapter.
You finally pulled it off! But you should really put those pants back on. We're in public, man! Congratulations!
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Ha 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 ha! No. It's a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Is this gonna be that Susato girl again, or maybe her dad with the mustache?
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Is that who? I'm gonna guess her.
It is! Congratulations, both of you, for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for the result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. You gonna interrupt me? Tell me I did a good job? Anything? Oh!
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Huh. Your kind words should really be from my father. Not me, please don't talk to me again. You're weird. I'm just afraid that you might be interested in me, and you're just... I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Oh, yeah, of course, Mustache Man.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba.
I still feel like I'm saying it wrong. I say it differently every time, and every time still feels wrong.
Mikotoba. Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba. Mikotoba.
There you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Now, Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor!
No. It's I who should be thanking you, after all.
You tried to get me convicted. You made me be a lawyer, you jerk.
Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh, yeah. Good friend. In the same way that Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth are good friends. They did stuff to each other. Somehow it involved both of them having mustaches. And I don't just mean the ones on their faces. Oh, yes, you mentioned that before. It was you. Oh, sorry, it was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? You worked together? In the same way that Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth worked together?
I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi.
Huh?
Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can.
He's swearing on the spirit of the Asogi clan. Wait, but your clan is still alive. I don't know how spirits work. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go.
And cuts down anything or anyone. That's in my way. You saw what I did to Ouchie in there. The camera didn't show it, zoomed on his head. I slashed open his torso. He's dead. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezzael Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's the true culprit. Yeah, I was gonna say she's just being, like, deported or something.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? She's gonna go commit murders in China.
What? Shanghai?
Jezzael Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I am certain of that.
What? Why not? Who is this? Is this Hosonaga?
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction.
Ah, right! Inspector Hosonaga.
Wow. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today.
Problem is now his voice is too similar to Susato's.
Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate.
But what's it all about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? Well, okay, is this a Yoda thing where it's like do or do not? There's no try. Can we just do her? Can we do her? Can we do her in the same way that Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth do each other? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that!
I'll read some more in the chat. I thought we were almost done, but this denouement just won't denouement. Vex says, I will say that Susato and Kazuma are definitely not dating for reasons. Oh, they're probably like siblings. Secret siblings. Secret brother and sister. Also because Ryu Kazuma OTP laughing. Fear said Kazuma / his sword. It's like his own holy Jumanji sword. Quicken says, I've been waiting a full year. It's all caps. I've been waiting a full year to finally reveal what I was thinking back then. Man, maybe I should have waited another full year to play this game. Let it really kind of marinate and take its time. Over on YouTube, let's see. Scrolling up. Derma says, maybe it's a Derringer. Then the maybe is part of the issue. We don't know. Imagine Susato just reveals after oh yeah, that report was forged, like a certain other game. Fruity says Kazuma is 100% going to be arrested in Britain for slicing a man in half. Derma says, oh my gosh, imagine if Jezzael showed up in Yangtze River. I know that takes place in China, but is it in Shanghai? Because I assume the Yangtze River is like a real river, but I don't know where. And Dura says, on her worldwide murder tour, she should be a crossover character, appearing in like every courtroom game. She can appear in that, and Tyrion Cuthbert in Trials of Innocence. Some of them take place in modern day, though. She might have to appear as like a ghost or a descendant or something like that. Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret arrangements about her fate, does it?
Maybe she's like the daughter of the king, a secret princess? It could be like a Hallmark Channel movie thing.
Something strange is going on.
So, Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I like the word comeuppance.
I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. Not 12th, 20th. One day, I have no doubt, you'll both be a great ace attorney, Chronicles. That woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Bow my head. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor!
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun.
Oh, yeah, because they're university students. They're probably old enough to drink. That's probably another reason Kazuma cannot be paired up with Susato. She's probably younger than him, huh? You can come with, Hosonaga.
In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
Wait, is he still gonna be the waiter? He solved the coin case. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you?
Let's not worry about details for now. Ha! To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor?
Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none.
Every time I see her, I want to do the Maya voice still.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Bow. Good job.
So, Jezzael Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson.
So okay, obviously they're going to tell us later in the game. But that's the thing, why didn't we ask her about the motive in the courtroom? She was confessing. Kazuma?
Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. And the things under my skin. Like my bones, my muscles, my organs, my suckus.
Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
Huh, I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during the trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, a great ace attorney, not me.
I still think that his hesitancy might be that he has a Goyle friend waiting for him. What? Oh, come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, oh, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Forged evidence, cheating. Yes, we all do it. I'm surprised you didn't.
Knowledge of the law?
No, the ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then,
Well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well, oh wait, crap, you don't have experience? Are you bad at this? Should I not have?
You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
I'm so torn inside, for reasons. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor with a U, because we're still speaking British English here, really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. Why? Don't interrupt me.
You're still here, aren't you?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Good old rickshaws. Thank you. We'll be right there. Bow.
You gonna tell me your favor, bro?
Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
I'm gonna guess the favor is that he wants us to become a lawyer, yeah? And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Yes, that too.
Did we finally reach the end? Give me a doodle-a-doodle-a-doodle-a-doo.
So, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san,
who acted as my assistant. Okay. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part. Like in that case, but like later on maybe, but still.
It was because of the help and support of all of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me.
Little did I realize he wanted me to kill a man. He wanted me to do a real murder and get away with it.
Just how much it would change my life.
Yeah, the favor is going to be to become a lawyer. And achievement unlocked! Defense debut for completion of episode 1 of Great History. Save my poggers! Yes, save my poggers! Save my poggers! Oh, sweet poggers being saved. Do we get to see the thumbnail for the next one? Oh crap, the thumbnails aren't big like cartoony things. So the first one is the Great Departure. Oh, because it was Kazuma's departure. And also Dr. Wilson is departed. Oh, and it was a picture of the restaurant. This one is the adventure of the unbreakable speckled band. Okay. It's gonna be interesting. Let's fully catch up in the chat, by the way. Quiggett said, I so badly wanted to reference this game. Outside of Bumbo is the only case 1 spoiler clip I had, lol. Quiggett said, Nogia mentioned. Vera said, and that's how we link this game with Yangtze River, lol. Quiggett said, Yangtze River mentioned. Vera said, Brett in Shanghai. Magpie said, get used to that in Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Every case has another 15 to 30 minutes of talking after. Vera said, oh my gosh, we made the same joke. Quiggett said, amazing. Vera said, shout out Dermo. Hosonaga, you don't need to be a waiter anymore. I assume he's going to be the gumshoe. And listen, well, you guys also said that there's the Sherlock Holmes character, Sherlock Holmes. Maybe he'll be the gumshoe character for reasons. He'll come over here because his sidekick was killed. And so he's going to, I don't know. I'm torn between wanting to see him in his regular uniform, Hosonaga, I mean, or just like staying as a waiter for no reason. Vera says, roll credits. Magpie says, they need to respect my guy, Hosonaga. Vex says, I love Hosonaga. He a very wholesome bean. Vera said, huzzah, congrats, Logan. Timestamp for Queen Katie, 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 46 seconds. And Queen Katie said, thank you for the very all hail golden Termo and spoiler chat for being the Logan time master. 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 20 seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night on Twitch. Let me see how YouTube is looking. I got to be close to being caught up there as well, right? Let's see. Derma says, apparently in Tyrion Cuthbert, appearing in Tyrion Cuthbert, so she's not even confined to reality. She's invading fantasy. Said, oh, is that fantasy? I didn't know that. I assumed it was just like it was just like a magic guy. Huh. Rivulet says, if Hosonaga didn't steal the evidence, they wouldn't have won. He did a good amount. He really did. He helped out quite a bit through his crimes. I'm glad that you stuck around, Rivulet. And Dura says, Rivulet, true. All right. So because I've fully caught up to both chats, I got to give you guys a rundown on everything that's going on here. This is very important. It's very important. So we stream our schedule Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So that means tomorrow is our next stream. It is going to be, we're trying out a new game. We're trying out Noja. Again, I don't know much about it. I understand it's like a one-player social deduction game. I think it's so. In my mind, I'm just thinking Among Us, but with anime characters in it. So I don't know for certain. So come and check it out. If you're like watching this, and you're like, well, when's going to be the next chapter of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles? Well, good news for you guys. That's going to be on Sunday. So be sure to stick around for Sunday's stream. It will be delightful. So let me take a look at the raid suggestions we have and see if we can find one with the fewest number of viewers. Looks like that is, we have one that has only one viewer. Oh, but one of them is also doing some, wait, which trials? Is that some Dual Destinies? No, it's just the Apollo Justice trilogy. But yeah, we'll go with the one that has the fewest number of viewers. Let me copy this down and see if we can start. Oh, but before I populate the raid, hang on. Crap, I shouldn't have started to recap everything. That's when all the lurkers jump ship and we lose like everybody. I should surprise everybody with all that. But there is the link tree. Just copy that over. That has all of our social media, including a Discord invite, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and see if we can populate our raid and get a raid message here that you can copy over to your clipboard. Magpie says, yeah, Tyrion Cuthbert is in a D&D universe. I did not know that. I've been gifted it, but I've just never played it. Wow. Veer said, thank you for the very Evan rejected her stream. That was fun. Next case, one of my favorites in this game. I can't wait. Vex says, congrats, Logan. Can't wait for the next AA or Hollow Knight stream. Well, again, tomorrow's going to be Noja. We'll see how that is. No promises if we're going to make like a full playthrough of it, because I need to like see how I do at it. Maybe I'm going to suck at it. Kind of like I enjoyed playing Outer Wilds, but I was not good at that. Magpie says, good night, Logan. Vex says, good night. Crystal said, thank you for the whole stream. And Dermo over there is saying Slan, which my understanding is that means good night. So yes, thank you all for being here. Sorry that we went overtime 2 streams in a row. Not nearly as much this time. We could give you the 57 precepts of Zod if you want. But the raid will probably start before then. But I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. It means the world to me that you would take time out of your busy schedules to hang out with me. I have so much fun spending time with you guys here in the chat, and I hope I am giving even just a fraction of what I am getting from you guys. So thank you all. You're wonderful. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow for Noja, and then on Sunday for more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And Vex says, thank you for the very sentient taxidermied swan stream. Oh boy. Anyway, raid's about to start. Everyone on Twitch, thank you for being here. You're amazing. You're wonderful. Enjoy the raid. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Over on YouTube, the Rivulant says, farewell, streamer. I won't be showing up to streams for a while. I'm busy for the rest of the week. Totally understandable. But anytime you are able to be here, whether it's soon or later or whatever, we'd love to have you here. It's been a lot of fun having you in the chat, in the stream here. So thank you, Dermo, Frulzy. I think John Allen Z was here. Anyone else that's over there on YouTube as well. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you spending your time. I've been loving seeing the YouTube community growing as well alongside Twitch. So everyone on YouTube and everyone watching the VOD, good night as well.